Hello, did I unmute everything? I think I did. Hello and welcome to Fun Shots Crimson Sun. This is, if you are unaware, a tabletop RPG live play stream where we will be playing Heroines of the First Age by Void Spiral Entertainment. Joining me today are three awesome players. Let's go around and do some intros, starting with you, Janaya.
Hello. My name is Janaya, and I'm a sculptor and artist. So you can find the work that I do on Instagram. And then if you want to hear my very short thoughts on the art world, you can find me on Twitter. Everything's under Janaya, which is really hard to spell, but is right down there. And where else? Oh, and my longer writings that are not short thoughts you can find on academia.edu.
Dope. And Gru?
Hi, I'm Gru. Find me on Twitter at GruMoon. I don't have anything else interesting at the moment, but there we go.
Spectacular.
Yeah.
And Summer, our illustrious on every single game on the internet friend. Who are you?
Who am I? I'm Summer. I'm not going to list out everything that I do because it's too much, but if you're looking for me, you can find me on Twitter at Just a Summer Job, and you can find my Twitch channel at off_the table. We stream Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, and it's the same on Twitter.
Yeah, how many shows? You're just going into another season soon, right?
Yes. So we're about to start up a bunch of new games. And I'm currently doing 6 days of streaming a week, 7 this week because of a charity stream tomorrow, but I can't chill and I have to sign up for everything. I can't stop, but I'm addicted.
Yeah, you maybe have a problem. Okay.
Maybe.
I'm hearing that y'all's volume is a little low, so I'm trying to boost it. And alright, tell me if that's better.
Is that better, Ethan?
Yeah, Ethan.
For your sweet ears.
So, we are playing Heroines of the First Age tonight, which is very weird. Really, no other way to put it. It's a apocalypse world hack, so powered by the apocalypse game, about monster girls in a mythological setting. So tonight our characters, our heroes in quotes, will be playing sort of monster people in this Greek inspired setting where it's the very first age of the world. Things are still new. There aren't any of those ancient ruins from civilizations gone past. It's these are the civilizations that will someday have gone past. And yeah, I think that's really all of the prompt I need to give you before we get into the game. What's going on will become much more apparent once we start playing. So, I think we start off our episode today with like this smooth like camera crane shot into these enormous woods. We've got these giant trees with sort of like these long pine boughs on them, and sort of flitting from branch to branch, we see this dark shadowed shape, which comes to a rest on a branch above a small there's like a compound, like a couple little houses and whatnot, built into the side of this tree. And we see this figure up above, looking down. And Gru, could you describe Skia for us, please?
Yes. Skia is like a sloth almost, but also with a prehensile tail, and she's sort of perched on because this sloth, monkey, cat, bat perches On a branch above there, she has like a cloak that's been tactically tattered, so that like it kind of looks bad, but when she's moving, it's like she's just a shadow, and she has a long prehensile tail, in which she holds like, I don't know, another branch nearby before she swings off to another one, and yeah. She's broody and amazing.
So I think you're probably here to... Ski is an assassin, correct?
Oh, yes.
So I think you're here at this compound to kill someone. Who is this person that you've been tasked with killing?
Oh, well, a political rival of the current board master, I guess. I don't remember what the person is called. But like since we have a feast table thing, like the person who is most politically prominent in our whole connected villages, there is a political opponent coming up that's actually gaining a lot of traction, and I'm here to see that stops.
Okay, I think this woman's name is Fengarel, and
Yes.
she's a large sort of like porcupine-ish creature. She's like probably 7 feet tall, with broad shoulders, but with like her hair turns into these quills that run down her back, and she's like gathered a lot of political support in like convincing people that it's time for the people of Mia and the surrounding villages to leave the forest and start spreading influence elsewhere. And so she's like gathered this group of warlike creatures and people around her. So you're up above this town and you can't quite see her. You see some people sort of milling about, going to and fro. There's clearly like a blacksmith there and a couple like barracks buildings. What do you do?
Do I know approximately where is this person going to, like a meeting of some sort?
I think so. Yeah. You maybe got some intel, or actually, you had a contact somewhere spoil one of their shipments, and so you're predicting that she's going to be going to the storehouse later to try and deal with this issue.
Excellent. So I know where she's going to be, and I know approximately from what direction she's going to come, because obviously I know where she lives.
Right.
That wouldn't be sporting. Okay, I get closer to the storehouse, staying in a branch above it, close to the trunk, just sort of in as much of a shadow as I can get. Gotta love that shadow. And I keep a close eye on where she'll be approaching the storeroom, because there's like normally there's like big open doors and everything, and it's nice and open to get to the storeroom, because this storeroom conveniently has just the entranceway is slightly hidden. It was one that was just sort of tacked on later, so it's not built quite up to the standards that we would normally have.
Right, like maybe this used to be sort of a farming village that got repurposed to become this like half fortress.
Yeah, so it's not exactly. So when my target goes just slightly out of view from the main road, then I can drop down on her.
It sounds to me like you're trying to move stealthily.
Sure I am. Yep. Sure I'm doing that.
All right. So why don't we go ahead and do that then?
Yeah. Okay.
When you try to sneak into, out of, or past a watched or guarded area, that's definitely happening. You're gonna roll cunning.
Yeah. So this thing, that's what, 2d6? for me.
Your
cunning is
cunning is
2.
okay. So yeah, there's a macro in Roll20 if you want to use that.
Sure. I don't believe. Do I have a modifier for that? Because no, that's for something else entirely.
And I think the difficulty number for this is 1.
Okay.
They're
That's
like
good.
they're not really expecting anything. They're certainly not organized.
Oh no. It appears I have 1 success.
You do. You have 1 success, which means you successfully that ties. Ooh, right, that's a tie. So you tie the roll, which on a stealth means I think you just barely make it. You're cutting it close, but you make it through. Yeah. So
Okay.
you're not getting any. If you succeeded fully, you would have gotten a +1 forward. But I think as you're like swinging through the tree and then you like skitter down the side and up underneath, there's a moment where you like lose your footing and there's this like scratching sound and someone looks over to the side and is like, huh? What's that? And then in true guard fashion, they go, oh, must have been nothing, and move on.
Yeah. Yeah. The exclamation point above their heads goes away. It's fine.
Yeah. The little Ubisoft bar empties.
Yeah.
So yes, you manage to reach the storehouse. You like climb up on top of it, and you can see Fengarel sort of like storming down the main pathway of this compound, muttering angrily under her breath. Ordered the damn things a week ago and they come in, they're rotten. Can't believe this shit. God damn. And she, knocks the side of the door frame as she comes in, and she shouts out, "Antosia, speak to me." And what do you do?
She alone? Like no one.
She is now. She's calling out to someone inside, but she is not in vision of anyone.
Okay. I would like to sort of step out next to her and drag her to the other side of the tree. I can hang on to a branch above with my tail, where I can just sort of tear her throat open with my claws.
Fucking sick. So it
Oh my God.
sounds to me like you were killing her, which
Yeah.
would be
I'm an assassin.
You think?
That's what I
which would
do.
be what, backstab?
I have assassin. If
Well,
that is +2 to harm when I'm stealthed.
that's true. Let me just double check.
I also have backstab.
Assassin, yeah, is just a bonus to harm
Okay.
while you are stealthed. So yeah, while you try to get the drop on someone within the range of one of your weapons, yeah, that sounds like what you're doing to me. Does that sound correct to you?
Yes, so
That'll also be rolling cunning.
okay.
And then depending on that, I think this is a... we'll say this is a difficulty 1, again, because you are clearly in stealth. She's
Yes.
angry, but that also means she's distracted.
Yes. Do I have any modifiers for this? Is it just a straight 2d6?
I think it's just the straight 2d6.
Excellent.
You got
One
one success, so we get a
Yeah.
tie. That means you get to choose 2. You are not noticed, you deal harm to your target, or you escape from the scene of the incident. 2 of those 3.
Deal harm and escape. I can be noticed.
Okay, so I think you
It
like
works.
you drop down hanging by your tail and just like swing past and pull her throat out, and she just sort of stands there angrily and then shocked and then keels over.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Hentosia, who she'd just been calling out to, is like standing just inside the doorway, and like stammers, "Oh, fuck! Guards!" And like the whole place goes up into a clamor. There's a ringing bell, but your momentum carries you back through, and you swing back onto the roof, and you start to like book it away from this. I mean, I wouldn't call it a botched assassination because you killed her, but certainly messier than perhaps was intended.
Yeah, a little bit.
All of a sudden, the world around you goes sort of dark, and we see you stop in your tracks and sort of skid and look up.
Oh no.
And then we cut to Xanady. So elsewhere in the world, in the bioluminescent desert of Krynosis, Xanady is Xanady. You are currently in a heated discussion with a merchant who is arguing that you do in fact have to pay money in order to obtain food from them. What do you do?
Well, I understand that you feel that I need to pay you money, but you have to understand that your feelings aren't necessarily, actually real. Because this is all just my dream. So if I don't feel like I have the money to give you, but I need the thing to further my dream, well, then I need to take the thing. Do you understand?
Look, what? No, you have to, this is just how it works. If you want the thing, you pay me, you give me money, I give you the thing.
I understand, sir. Like, that's your construct. That's the way that it is. But I don't have the money to give you for the thing, and I need the thing. And, I mean, when I walk away, what does it matter, really, whether I've given you the money or not? It doesn't really change anything.
It matters if I can afford to get more food later to sell to other people. Of course it matters.
It's just so hard to get you to understand. Let me try something else. If you can give me this item now, I will come back and pay you what the item was worth, plus an extra 50%. So you'll make more money when I come back later with the payment for it. Does that work for you?
Are you actually intending to pay this guy?
Oh, heavens, no.
Okay.
No, I mean, I'm just... it's
like
a deception.
That sounds like deceive, yeah. So, which I believe is cunning, but let's double check.
Right. I think it's cunning or charm.
Deceive
In my case,
is roll cunning. Which for you is pretty good. So, and I'm gonna say I'm trying to decide if this is difficulty 1 or 2 because you've been like dicking this guy around. I'll make it a 1. This is a difficulty 1. He's certainly not happy about this.
So I put in how many dice?
It's whatever the stat is, which for your cunning is 3.
And there's no modifier.
Yep.
That did not go anywhere.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Well.
All right. Well, with deceive, you choose one, but fate intervenes. Meaning I get to respond with some complications. You choose one from your ruse is not discovered, the target falls for it, the timing is perfect, and they tell others about it.
So I'll choose the target falls for it.
Okay. Yeah, how do I want to... okay, I think I know how I get you in trouble for this. So the merchant's just like, okay, fine, here, just go away. And you take the food and you turn around and immediately, there's this large, I think, she's a golem, and she's one of the guards, of the caravan, and she's standing right behind you. She says, Xanady.
Yeah?
Stop. Are you tricking the poor mortals again?
No, he just needed to be paid for the item and I don't have the cash, so I told him I would pay him later.
Are you going to?
Well, yeah, now.
That's what I thought. Do you have any coin? Any gold left on your character? Or have you spent it all?
I think I spent it all.
I think you spent it all. Okay.
Yeah, I spent everything.
I think Paris, who is the golem, is not going to leave until you pay the poor man. But he will happily trade for one of your 1 gold items. So.
Well, that doesn't seem fair. So what I would like to do is visually, you said it was food that I procured. I would like to transform the food to make it look moldy.
Oh. Okay. So you're trying to pull like an illusion to imply that the food isn't actually worth that much?
So I'm going to use transformation.
I think transformation is when you are transforming, not when you're transforming other things.
What is the other? Oh, you are correct.
You could potentially, let's see, maybe you could use... I mean, you're using magic, right?
Right.
So, let's see what the game says about magic. No, not equipment.
Oh, there it is. It's warp reality.
Warp reality, there you go. Yes. So you're going to actually...
I was like, I knew I had a thing.
You make the food moldy.
Yes.
Alright, when you tamper with the fabric of reality within arm's length, you can reshape solid materials, roll cunning or spirit.
So I will definitely choose cunning.
And I'm gonna say this is a 0. This is a pretty small magical effect. It's gonna be very useful to you, but ultimately it doesn't pose a challenge to you.
Sorry, I keep losing my macro. Where'd it go?
If you want faster access to it, you can also click in bar or check in bar and then show macro quick bar, and it will just show up as a button in the bottom left.
Okay.
Yikes. Yowza.
Seriously? I'm just getting all the bad rolls out of the way now, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you tied it because it's a 1. Hold 1, but the effects are only illusory. Others are not aware of this. So,
Oh, so it just looks moldy.
yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
So I hold forward the moldy food and I say, really? I mean, look at this. Do you actually expect me to give you my set of traps in exchange for this? I mean, look, it's not even good.
I'm so sorry. He's like very embarrassed by this. I guess just a little bit of coin will work, and we can assume because 1 gold in this game is actually like a significant amount of wealth. We can assume you have like some spare coin.
Okay. I toss him the spare coin.
And I think you flip the coin to him, and we get this slow-mo shot of the coin, and as it's mid-air, it goes sort of dark and then glints red, and we cut to Eloy. Eloy, you are... I think you are in this, like, lavish, finely appointed room. There are, like, these couches and pillows, like, draping fabrics, and there's a figure laying on a divan at the other end of the room, and I'm curious, what is your reason for being here? What are you trying to get out of this person?
I think I'm trying to get an invitation to a like exclusive party. Even though I'm a very well-known socialite, I think that this was like a little bit higher level. And I'm trying to snag like a +1, basically.
Okay, so her name is Ataga, and she's this sort of she's like a lizard person, where she's got this sort of spiny mohawk that runs down her back and then into this long green scaled tail, and she's reclining back, and she says, "Oh, Eloy, what a pleasure to see you today."
Hi, how are you?
Oh, you know how it is these days. Humans coming in thinking they own the place. She picks up a bit of nondescript meat and, like, tears a little bit off, sort of menacingly.
So, I happened to hear that you are going to the party tomorrow night.
Oh, you heard about the party. I didn't know you were invited.
I think my invitation must have gotten lost.
What a shame. Is there something in particular that you wanted from me?
I think Eloy like kind of crosses the room and like kind of like very gracefully like sits down on the ground near her, and she's like, well, I thought we might look very good together if we went as a couple.
It sounds like you're courting her to me. Is that correct?
Yes.
Alright, so let's check out the courtship skill, because your character does precisely one thing. And actually, I forgot to ask, can we get some character descriptions for Xanady and Eloy? So Xanady first, since we just had her scene.
So Xanady, when you see her, looks translucent. Her body is just made of sort of this black darkness, but you can make out some features, and especially her eyes, which are accented by blue and purple feathers that go around her eyes that look a little bit more solid than her body does. And through her translucent body, you can see wings also of blue and purple feathers that go down.
And Eloy.
Eloy is like this glittering metal, like silvery woman. She has like a halo of these sharp like petals that kind of like frame her face. And these very long wings that kind of trail on the ground after her, that kind of like dig into the earth because they're very sharp at the ends. And she's covered in this kind of like metallic scaling, with gills because she is from the Uneasy. But yeah, that's kind of what she looks like. She's very glittery.
So it says, courtship, when you try to persuade someone into a relationship with you, offer them a relationship tag with yourself as the target.
Okay.
So what are you offering Ataga?
Basically like arm candy, kind of. Like
Arm
I'll look
candy.
good for you to bring with you.
Ooh, I like that, and I think she's definitely into that exchange.
Okay.
So she will accept arm candy. I love it. And I think at that point, she sort of leans down and offers you some of the whatever she's eating, and says, "I think we could work something out."
And I think Eloy just like smiles and leans forward and takes a bite off of whatever this is.
She grins a lizard-like grin, and puts like a finger under your chin, and she says, "Now," but is suddenly interrupted as the light coming in through the window turns dark, and we see now all three of you, sort of split into different sections of the screen, looking up at the sky over the forest, over the desert, and out this window, and we see the sun has turned a dark black and red, and a wailing can be heard from the various oracles of the lands as each of you is overcome with a vague sense of dread. You've heard the tales, the prophecies that one day the sun will turn crimson, and that will mark the end of the First Age and the beginning of the Age of Mortals. And at that point, I believe we fast forward to about 2 weeks later. All three of you are now together, and have been for at least a few days, if not most of that time. And for some reason or another, you have decided to sort of figure out what's going on with the sun, why it has changed, and if there's anything you can do about it. So where do we come up on all three of you? Where are you?
Well, I would assume we would be in my caravan
Right, because you have that.
because I have that.
Uh-huh. Okay. So we've got like this is it a wagon train, or is it like what are they called, the things that you carry people on by hand?
Oh, I don't know. I
Palanquin?
like both of those.
Palanquin, yes. Is it a palanquin, or is it carts? Or I guess it could be both. Maybe there's like a palanquin that you sit
That I'm on.
and that maybe your guests sit on with you, and then like all of your stuff is carried in carts.
Yes, I think so. That sounds elegant, and I like it a lot.
Okay. So so you're all on Eloy's palanquin, surrounded by these attendants, and Janaya, where are the three of you headed currently? What's your destination?
We are headed to the Central Oracle in order to try and hear whatever has changed about the prophecy, because there's going to be a reading of the prophecy in response to the sun at a specific time.
Okay. So I think there's an Oracle of the Ink at the top of this mountain, Mount Quill, where there's this pool of living ink that the oracles of the ink sort of speak to and draw symbolism from, and in a few short days they will be drawing forth a new prophecy from the ink in the hopes of finding better fortune for the world. Gru, what were the three of you arguing about as we come in on this scene?
The necessity of the excesses that Eloy has us living in, and it's all very elaborate and bright, and like why we should be sneaking over there so no one can know, and then we could just like be really dramatic.
This is really dramatic.
Wrong kind. We should just telling everybody where you're going and why.
If we don't tell them where we're going, then how will they know that we're coming and they can't properly prepare for us?
Prepare what? That's never worked out well for me.
I don't know, like a nice room.
I do like rooms.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be sneaky and sneak in and walk, you can walk. I'm sure you're strong enough to walk.
You could help carry us if you wanted to.
That's true.
No,
You would be
that
disguised.
I would be disguised as what?
A servant.
A servant, and then no one would know you were coming. They would not expect
that's a
that
great
such
idea. I should do that.
An
I just want them to
amazing,
know that I'm
talented assassin. Like, they would never look amongst servants for such a person.
It's the first place they'll look. I always suspect servants.
No.
Okay, well then they won't suspect you if you're with me.
But what if they don't see me at all? I prefer that.
I don't know how to help you here. I'm writing in.
All right. I think with that, there's a sudden crash and a splintering of wood behind you, and you hear a voice from further back in the caravan say, "Oh bother!" And like the caravan stops, and sort of a tall, sort of dour figure with a nice waistcoat strides up properly to the palanquin and looks to the side of Eloy and says, "Milady, there has been a problem with the cart."
What kind of problem?
"I'm afraid it has thrown a wheel."
Fix it?
"Of course, milady. It's only that, you see, the last..." He looks away again. "The last of our resources were spent upon your wardrobe in the previous town, and not upon repair materials for the caravan."
So what do you suggest?
"I would not presume to suggest anything to my lady, as that would be above my station, ma'am."
Why won't you look at me?
"For no particular reason. It is quite bright today.
Well, maybe you could take a wheel off of a cart that doesn't matter and put it on the one that is broken.
Of course, I shall remove the wheel from the wardrobe wagon.
No, absolutely not.
I shall remove a wheel from the supplies wagon. he bows and steps away. And like the palanquin gets set down so your servants can go help. And it doesn't take all that long, but we get this sort of long shot of most of the caravan moving away, and then this like one wagon with a bunch of like crates and foodstuffs on it just sitting by the side of the road as you walk on away from it. I think we can fast forward then to your arrival at the base of the Quill, which is this very steep, pointed mountain, which is where it gets its name. And there doesn't appear to be like an obvious path up. It's almost like intentionally intimidating. Sort of like somebody looked around at the mountains and was like, which one should we not put a monastery at the top of? Okay, let's go there. So what's your plan of approach? How are you gonna get up this mountain to the inkwell at the top?
Someone's going to carry me.
Are there trees? Out of curiosity.
Yeah, I suppose there are some trees. They're kind of like scraggly and not
Okay, not quite.
They're not the trees you're used to back home, like enormous skyscraping trees.
Yes, I give a sigh of just, I guess this is what we have to deal with. Terrible trees, okay. Figure out a different way.
Any ideas? Any plans?
Are there paths? Like, is there a clear path up the mountain, or?
Go ahead and just roll a quick d6 for me. Sort of like a luck roll. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you get to mark experience for fate intervening at the beginning.
Cool.
Or rather, Zainadi does.
Oh.
Everybody else passed all their rolls. Yeah, with a 1, I'm gonna say there isn't like. I guess there is a path, but you like look up it, and we get this like the camera zooms in, and then some rocks fall down the side, and maybe some snow blows past, and it's like it's there, but do you really want it?
Can I just fly?
I don't know. Can you?
I think so. I mean, I'm like kind of heavy because I'm made of metal, but I think I could.
Yeah, I have wings and I'm made of smoke.
I'm strong.
Is fly a move? Doesn't look like
There's a special power called Agile Flyer.
Agile Flyer, which just lets you do flying stuff better. I think as long as you have wings or some other form of flight, you can reasonably say that you can fly. That might leave Skia in a rough place.
I'll just like climb.
There's no path, and it looks very rocky, and there's hardly any trees. I'd rather not fly. I'd rather someone carry me up, but there's no path. Does this mean I have to leave my wardrobe at the bottom?
I'm afraid so, milady.
I don't like that.
Maybe if they wait long enough, they'll find a path and they can carry your wardrobe to the top.
That's true.
We shall do our best, milady.
You could just walk around and look for a path.
As you wish. And Alron turns tightly on his heel and begins just sort of walking around the mountain. I shall return.
Don't be gone too long.
I make no promises. He walks off into the snow. This poor man.
Bye, everyone.
All right. So, is the plan to wait for Alron to complete his circuit around the mountain and then proceed as necessary?
Yeah, I think that Eloy just goes and lays back down in the caravan. Like that's just like she just like lays down. I think I'm going to take a nap.
And then he was never seen again. Yeah. Can you make a d6 or roll a d6 for me with a +1, Eloy?
Oh no, it didn't work. There we go. 5.
A 5? Yeah, that'll do it. So 3 days later, Alron comes
Napping
back
all
around,
the while.
comes back around the other side of the mountain.
How did you live?
My devotion to my lady carried me through each hard day.
Oh, you didn't have to say that.
You are correct, and I regret it immediately. That said, on the second day, I did find what appeared to be a pass up the other side of the mountain. It was treacherous, but he looks at the path you can see now. It was an actual path.
Okay, well, get the caravan moving and we'll go to that path.
Of course. And he'll like get everyone going. Everyone's just been sort of like sitting around for a couple days. Like,
Yeah,
is she gonna tell us to
chilling.
do something?
Well, I imagine we sent them to like forage for snacks and stuff, right?
Right, like you go get
Because
food.
we left the supply wagon.
Right.
That probably wasn't all of the supplies.
That's a good point. Who all has food?
I
or
do.
Food gathering ability. I think
do, yeah.
Skia and Xanady both have
Traps and snares.
traps and snares, so you don't have to worry about food ever, assuming you're in the wilderness. And Eloy, you had overland provisions. So go ahead and just start like a little clock next to that.
Okay.
Like a we'll say 3-piece clock. So just a circle with 3 divisions, and fill one of those in
Okay.
for eating some of thine food. And your poor beleaguered driver slash servant slash one-sided boyfriend.
He knows I love him.
will begin to lead the caravan up the mountain, and I think with that we will go to our first break. So at dear God, these characters. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. We will hear what the ink has to say about the end of the First Age in just a little bit. See you then. Did I unmute everything successfully this time? I think I did. Hello and welcome back to Fun Shots Crimson Sun. I think we come back from our regularly scheduled commercial break to the 3 of you and Eloy's too many attendants reaching the summit of Mount Quill. The 3 of you are probably just like fine, maybe like a little bit of snow powdered on your shoulder or something. Everybody else is just fucking doggedly exhausted, especially the people like carrying this palanquin up the mountain. And there's like a moment as you reach the top where the palanquin just sort of shakes for a second and then drops onto the ground, and everyone's just like, and in front of you, there's like a caldera in the peak of the mountain that's sort of been carved out into these steps leading down to a deep black pool in the center. And around it are several oracles who are chanting over the pool. What do you do?
Stand up and start to walk towards them. Basically next to no caution.
Okay. So you just sort of walk forward. I think we can hear like the rattling of all of your various metal, and the scraping of your wings against the ragged stone. And one of the oracles looks up, and like stops chanting, puts their hands in their robes, and steps forward. Hello, I am Orion. What brings you to the top of the mountain?
Oh, well, we came to hear about the prophecy about the sun.
I see. These are dire days that we live in. We've been chanting upon the ink for 7 days and 6 nights. We hope that tonight it will reveal its secrets to us. Have you anything to offer?
Oh no, I just came to watch.
If we offer a thing, does that make the thing talk? Is that how that works?
It is known that the great powers that rule over this universe respond well to offerings of value, gifts,
Okay. Well,
beseechments.
like the ink's always been pretty cool. Yeah, that's cool. I have these like gifts, I guess, that will probably work. Can I use my gifts and tidings?
You can indeed. What are your gifts and tidings?
What are my gifts and tidings?
Comfort and joy.
that is what Sanity brings with her everywhere she goes.
Oh, definitely.
My gifts and tidings are special cups made from the clay of the bioluminescent desert. So they, in the darkness, they have a little bit of a shimmer to them. And they're thought to imbue life force because they contain all the life juice of the bioluminescence energy of the ground.
Awesome. Yeah, so you hand over these cups, was it?
Yeah, I got a cup. Will this help?
I see. From the desert. Yes, of course. He takes the cups in his hands and he bows to you, and then turns and walks slowly back down the steps and casts them individually into the pool of ink. And you can see, like, right as they're about to hit the pool, the ink sort of reaches up and envelops them and pulls them back in. And the surface begins to ripple, sort of in beat with the chanting of the other oracles.
Well, now I feel bad that I didn't give him anything.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I don't really have anything that I feel I could part with.
Well, that's
Skia
fair.
looks at her wardrobe wagon.
Alron
Really?
looks off to the side. What a feeling that must be.
I'd like to read the situation. And I think
Okay.
with my mystic eye thing, I can ask a question with regard to the power.
Okay, let's double check some stuff. So
Okay.
you're looking around. I can't find the read the situation move.
Oh,
It's
I see it on the character sheet, but I'm trying to
should
find
be
it.
in the basic moves.
One would expect.
Yeah.
Is it read a situation?
Read a situation. Yeah.
Which you all have access to.
Do you want me to read it?
That would be very helpful. Thank you.
Okay. When you observe a charged situation, roll alertness. For success
Charged.
1, you ask 3. Tie, ask 1. Fail, ask 1, and fate intervenes. Your questions can be: what is the best escape route? which enemy is most vulnerable, which enemy is the biggest threat, what should I be on the lookout for, who is in control, what detail are we missing, or one specific question about any detail of your choice.
Yeah, I think I'll allow it. Yeah. This situation is charged in a way I won't specify yet. And
Oh, that's comforting.
what are you using with that, did you say?
I'm trying to find it. Mystic Eye.
Mystic.
That's a special
There we go. When you
power.
read a person or situation, you can add these questions to the list of things you can ask. What does God, power, or spirit think of this? What's one magic power it has? What power pool is most closely related to it? Okay. So go ahead and roll your read the situation.
So that's alertness. Yes. Which is 3. I do not. That seems to be what has come up for any roll of 3 dice this whole time.
Yeah, that's rough.
That is true.
Do you?
That's crazy.
Yeah, you don't have a plus. Okay. So on a fail, you ask 1, and fate intervenes.
Oh,
So
good.
you can ask one of the questions from either read a situation or Mystic Eye.
It's like, what does the ink think of all this?
What does the
Like-
ink think of all this? Like
Yeah.
the ceremony or the situation with the sun?
The ceremony.
The ceremony, the ink thinks they are, what does the ink think? What does the ink think? The ink feels frustrated, because something is in its way.
Okay.
And I think with that, fate's gonna intervene. So go ahead and mark 1. Mark 1 experience, but I'm going to invoke your flaw off of that.
Okay.
I think you feel you understand what's going on better than anyone else here. Like, sure, you can offer stuff to the ink, but really what you should be doing is like you should touch the ink to commune with it directly. So you may act on that, or you may expend a willpower to hold back your flaw.
Oh no. Skia looks at everybody just like, what are you even doing? And just strides over and just puts her hand right in the ink.
Okay, can you... this sounds like a risky proposition to me. And I think
Certainly does.
I think the difficulty here is... Oh god, is it even possible to succeed here? Which stat is this? It's not power, it's not cunning. No, maybe it's cunning. Yeah. I think this is a difficulty number 2 risky proposition with cunning. So
Okay.
you like just go elbow deep into the ink. And for a moment you're like you feel something reach out like mentally and make contact with your mind, and then from the outside the rest of you see Skia's eyes just like pool over black all of a sudden, like they're filling with ink, and then the ink from the well begins climbing up her arm and over the rest of her body. Skia, you are going to take 1 point of willpower as the ink is attempting to consume your mind, essentially.
Oh my.
Okay.
What does everybody do?
That can't be good.
I step a little bit closer to look at what's happening and kind of like crouch down and tip my head to the side. Like, this is crazy.
How am I coming up with this?
That sounds kind of like reading a situation to me. You're like looking at this and being like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So that'll be rolling alertness. I think this is a difficulty 1.
Okay. Alertness.
Let's try rolling some
You can do
successes
it.
tonight.
Yeah, for real. There you go.
Hey, that's a success. Yeah, so you get to ask one question off the read a situation list, which is what's the best escape route, which enemy is most vulnerable, which enemy is the biggest threat. Those both seem pretty obvious. What should I be on the lookout for? Who's in control? What detail are we missing? And or one specific question about a detail of your choice.
What detail are we missing?
The ink is not in control right now. The restless depths are.
Ooh.
Oh, this isn't the ink at all. Wow.
I think
You guys
can
are all. Pardon me.
You can see now that like the pool of ink is ink, but as it's crawling up Skia's form, it's forming into these like tiny black beetles that are skittering up and around her.
Ooh.
I stand up and I put my hands on my hips and I say, "Hey, so if you guys are not ink people, then I want my cup back because." I mean, we had a deal. It was like the ink, and like this isn't the ink at all. I mean, are you buggy people instead of inky people?
Not the ink. All three of them look immediately quite panicked.
No, so you didn't know either, huh? Okay. Those are bugs. Everyone, those are bugs.
Get them off of Skia. Get the bugs off.
Summer, would you like to do something, or would Eloy like to do something?
Yeah, I think she's trying to convince the oracles to do something. She doesn't want to do something herself. She wants somebody else to do something about it. She's not getting near. Now that she said that that's bugs, Eloy is hesitant to go near that.
Trying to look at your moves and see maybe what could possibly work here. I mean, strangely, you went with forms of convincing that aren't talking to people. So I think your best bet is a risky proposition here.
Okay.
So here's what I'm going to offer you. Here's
Okay.
the jeopardy. You are going to roll charm. But if you fail, or if jeopardy happens, the jeopardy here is that the restless depths will recognize you as a threat.
Okay. That's
All right.
fine.
And I think this is a difficulty. Let me just look at the table really quick.
Yeah.
NPCs, nope. Difficulty numbers, there we go. Yeah, I think this is difficulty 1.
Okay. Let's see how I do. 2 successes.
2 successes. All right, you succeed. Which I believe means nothing bad happens. Thank God.
No threat here. Nothing to see over here.
Nope.
Innocent bystander.
Basic moves, risky proposition. Here we go. Yeah, so you get what you want, you avoided the jeopardy, and you've convinced these people to help. So the 3 oracles rush over and start, like, trying to, like, pull these beetles off of Skia. and the beetles are going to like swarm off of Skia and onto the oracles now. And
That's
there's
too bad.
one of them starts like screaming and scratching at themselves as these beetles try to eat them alive. Skia,
Oh.
you like you're starting to see, like, your vision has turned black as the ink overcame your vision, and you can feel now that the presence that came in contact with your mind is the ink, and it was attempting to like reach out through past the restless depths to you to let you know what was happening. And the ink is starting to withdraw as these beetles are removed from you. What do you do?
Is there some way I could like reach out toward, like mentally reach out towards the ink in that way? Since it's withdrawing, I'd like to like. I don't think that's really.
Yeah. I think that's another risky proposition.
Okay.
I think that's a rational, calm. That's either a spirit or a charm, your choice. Difficulty 2.
Could it not
Okay.
be open your mind?
Open your mind.
Right. That would make sense. Let's see.
Equally
Open your
terrible
mind.
for me, but yeah, I can literally not
When you
succeed.
try to commune with the gods, spirits or powers, roll spirit. So with that, how you roll with a stat with a 0 is you roll a, what is it, a d6, and on a 6 you pass.
Yeah, but if it's a difficulty 2, then I can't pass regardless. I can only fail. I'm not saying let's not do this. I'm saying I'm going to fail.
Yeah. I think, well, you are in direct contact with it, like physical contact with it,
It's true.
as opposed to, like, if you were just out in the wild trying to commune with one of the power pools. I think a 2 or a 3 might make sense, a legendary. But I think in physical contact,
And it was trying to talk to me.
I can be argued down to heroic for a difficulty 1.
Okay.
You just need to roll a 6.
Okay.
Easy.
Easy.
Let's do that.
It's just 1 6.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Got halfway there.
So fate intervenes, mark experience. And you reach out toward the ink with your mind, and it's more than you can handle. You're gonna take a point of health off of that, as like the force from this power pool is just sort of unleashed upon you, and you go flying some 10-15 feet away from the pool. And like,
Are there fewer
smack
bugs on me?
into- Yeah, I think with that you're sort of like, you
All
shake
right.
the bugs and the ink off you, and the damage is from like impacting the stairs, but your entire are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right.
Yeah, so your entire right arm up to like halfway up your upper arm is black, stained black with ink.
That makes sense.
All right. You have three oracles here crawling with these insects. Would you like to do something? Anyone?
Any of us?
Oh.
Well, I mean, I guess if we don't get the bugs off of them, then they don't make the thing speak, and we don't learn anything, right? So can I try to arcane? So I, out of nowhere, bring a staff covered in runes of the ink into being out of my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try to attack the bugs using arcane.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and give that to you. I'm also gonna give you a +1 ongoing while you're fighting these bugs here, because the ink is your staff is of the ink, and the ink is directly in opposition to the restless depths right now. So
Hooray!
go ahead and roll Arcane. And difficulty 1. One success. Actually, 2 successes with the +1 from the ink. So, what does that give you on Arcane? Let's see. Battle moves, Arcane. On a success, choose 3. You inflict +1 harm. You suffer -1 harm. You hit several adjacent opponents, or you hide your magical power.
So we're going to exchange harm, so I'm going to probably receive harm back.
Yes.
So I will inflict +1 harm, suffer -1 harm, and hit several adjacent opponents.
Okay, so you unleash your magic upon these beetles. What does that look like?
So from the staff comes out sort of a flowing smoke, very much like my body, but the smoke starts off black like the ink in the runes and moves into sort of the glowing bioluminescent purple, and it moves sort of slowly at first and then zaps really fast to the bugs and sort of makes them glow with this hazy cloud.
Nice. How much harm does that do in total?
My staff does 5 + 2.
5 + 2, so that's 7 + 1.
So +1 is 8.
Yeah. So your magic zaps out, and I think there's this pulse of glowing energy from them, and they're just blown into dust off of these 3 oracles. And with the suffering -1 harm, you take no harm in the exchange.
Okay, so as soon as the bugs disappear, she just kind of like taps the staff and it sort of disintegrates back into her being, and she just sort of crosses her arms and looks at the oracles and says, "So can you do your thing now?"
You're pressuring them a little bit. They said tonight, didn't they?
Oh, okay.
I think we can fast forward to that night.
Can you do it now?
How about now? Is it time yet?
How about now?
It says like 9 o'clock at the bottom. How about now? 10 o'clock. Are you done yet? And as the full moon, glowing orange in the reflected radiance of the sun, reaches its zenith above the pool, the chant from these 3 oracles begins to like echo back off of the surface of the pool. So it sounds like rather than 3 of these oracles chanting, there are 6, and then 12, and then 24. This enormous chorus of voices which begin to overlap and desync from each other until there's just this roar, which eventually cancels itself out into in a supernatural silence, and the whole pool ripples in unison and then rises to form the shape of a sphere, its surface sort of modulating to show the various lands and continents of the world, and then this second sphere comes off of it to form this like raging inky sun, and as you watch, a sort of ripple pulses across the sphere, and as it reaches the opposite side from the sun, a piece of ink comes off to form the shape of a probably some sort of a Medusa creature, some like generic humanoid monster, which then sort of is pulled apart into these almost fiery wisps. But then the sphere that creates the earth sort of breaks in half and opens, so you can see inside it, and you see all of these little like channels, these tunnels carved into it, and in the center is a black crystalline shape rotating slowly and pulsing at a regular rhythm, and I think with that, the whole scene just turns into ink and drops back into the pool. What would you like to do?
So what does that mean? Just
I think...
talking everybody around like, I don't get it.
Right. I think the oracles are sort of exhausted from their 7 days and 7 nights of work. But if somebody wants to, wouldn't we read the situation?
Could it be?
Could it be?
It would mean the situation has to be charged.
I mean, the ink is talking to us.
I think somebody could roll a spirit. Is there a help move? There's a help move, right?
Yeah.
Help or hinder someone.
Yeah.
Alertness
one person can help interpret this, and somebody else can roll spirit.
My spirit is 0.
My
And
spirit is
mine.
2.
So, okay.
So Xanadu, the perfect person to be interpreting this stuff.
Yay!
Yes.
And who would like to roll alertness or cunning to help?
I can
can-
roll alertness.
I could roll. Yeah, I could roll cunning.
Let's see. Can
So-
multiple PCs help? You know what? Fuck it. Why not? I say so.
Cool.
So, Skia, roll alertness. And how are you helping?
I am looking at it as I have remembered like all of the details. Like I'm not necessarily putting them together, but I'm helping her like remember like what happened when, and like keeping all of what actually happened in front of us, keeping that straight.
Right. You're like, and then there was this thing, and did you notice this small detail?
Yeah, that kind of thing.
And Eloy.
Because cunning is kind of about being rational, I think she's trying to help keep Xanady grounded in like the reality of the situation, like what has actually happened, and trying not to let her kind of push past that into like an augmented reality, like trying to keep Xanady like in the here and now, like
Interpreting
make
what
sure
it
that
means.
yes,
Like interpreting
Yeah.
the vision instead of interpreting a dream. Like, what did that say
Yeah.
about me?
But yeah, instead of like instead of inward reflection on what does this mean about me, like, no, what does this mean about what just happened? Not about you. Think of it separately from yourself.
All right. So each of you get to roll your help.
Okay.
And then I rolled 2 with no modifiers.
We each rolled 1 success.
All right. So I think this is a difficulty 1. So you tie, which means you're going to be taking +2 on this roll, Xanady. So you're gonna roll spirit with
Modifier +2.
Yep. Ooh, that is not bad. So I think with 2 successes, you successfully pick up on some important stuff. Clearly, the ink was trying to tell you that the sun is going to bring about the end of your various peoples, right? The age, the first age is coming to a close. However, it implied that that eventuality is tied to something at the center of the earth. One of the things you pick up, I think, from Skia noticing the details, like the tunnels and whatnot that you were seeing, were actually like perfectly detailed. There were actual places shown. I think Skia picks up on that, and from her descriptions, Eloy recognizes what they're talking about, from her interactions with like nobles and various people. The warrens beneath the earth, which were shown by the ink, were the gates and then the caverns of Hades.
Oh.
The underworld.
All right.
So somewhere
Like it's 3
deep
exclamation points.
deep past the realm of Hades lies something at the center of the earth, which is tied to this whole situation.
So you guys, I have a crazy idea.
Okay.
Seems like everything, like this whole dream, like everything's just starting to get kind of interesting. Like
Right.
it's just starting to get fun.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's gonna end, like it almost feels like there was just all this buildup, and then I never got to the fun part. So I wonder if maybe if we go to this place, that maybe we could figure out a way to, like, I don't know, stretch this whole thing out a while. And then, like, we could go on an adventure, and like you could, seduce poor noble people into doing really stupid things that they regret later, and you can boldly fight battles, and it would be really cool. We'd just go to the middle and figure out a way to, like, push a button or do a thing and stretch it out.
Okay. I love this idea. It's a great idea. How do we get to the center of
Oh.
the earth?
Well, you paid attention to the pathways. Was there, like, an entrance? Is there a I don't know.
Did we notice an entrance? Or
A
have I heard
slide?
of one?
Have you heard of one? Oh, ooh, what would that be? There's a know a person skill, isn't there? Connections?
Yeah,
Which-
I have
which you have?
connections. It's my charm.
Yeah, let's double check what connections does. Cuz maybe you know a person in Hades who
I would love to. Please let me know someone in Hades.
when you talk to others about a person, item, or event of interest, roll charm. Success, you find someone who has intimate knowledge of it. Tie, you find a few people to give you good clues, or failure, you find a lot of clues, but a lot of them are from the opposition, and fate intervenes. Okay, so let's go ahead and roll connections.
Okay.
And this is a difficulty 2.
Okay. Two successes.
See, that is what I'm talking about. Good job. That's a tie. You can you don't necessarily know someone who like has specific knowledge of this. But you've gotten some good clues.
Right.
You've spent some time around Hades, maybe not too deep into Hades because you're not dead. But you've talked with some people, and you notice, thinking about this, that when people talk about the various lands of Hades, the fields of the dead and the pools of sorrow and all of that good stuff, there are a couple places where people are like, oh yeah, and then there was this passageway, we don't go there. And you're noticing, like, putting all these stories together, that they all just sort of line up. So you think you have a rough idea, maybe, of where there's a portion of Hades that just, like, no one goes to. They haven't. No one's ever really said why. It's just like that's not a thing that's done. However, it is near what one might consider the far side of Hades. It is past the Well of Souls, where the damned are condemned.
So we need a +1 invitation, is what you're telling me, to get into this part of Hades. I need to know someone on the inside. So where do I know, like, where the possible, like, closest entrance, like, the fastest way to get to this part of Hades would be? Like,
I mean, the fastest way to get to Hades is to die.
Okay, but the next fastest way?
Oh, the next fastest.
The part that doesn't involve me dying. I mean, I would assume that there's definitely a way in the uneasy.
Yeah, like there's... Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, probably. There's
because
like
it's like a deep oceanic, yeah.
Yeah, there's some like underwater
cave
thing that leads deep into the fiery pits of the earth. Yeah, I think there's a place in the uneasy. So it's quite some travel from here. If you wanted to know of a place specifically closer, I would probably ask for another roll.
Yeah, I think that Eloy is going to kind of relay this information to her companions about well, I know that there's a way into Hades in the uneasy, but that's a bit of a trip from here. So if you're really looking to go, then maybe we should see if there's a place that's a bit closer. Of course, I never mind going home because I do know quite a lot of people there and could get us in no problem. But time-wise, it might not be ideal. It's your dream. What do you think?
Well, I guess we could die. And then
I'd prefer not to. I think
once
that
we got through Hades, like maybe we could just figure out a way to be not dead anymore.
Well, if you would like to take that path, that's up to you. I think I'm just going to stay with my caravan, and go the long way.
No, it's more fun if we all go together.
That's true. Company is much more interesting.
We could ask those oracles. Maybe they saw something or know something.
Oh, they seem pretty tired, but I mean, you're more than welcome to ask them.
She stomps over to the oracles. Hey, hey, hey! I know you're tired and all, but so the world is gonna end, and that's kind of a bummer for all of us, right? So we were thinking maybe we'd go figure out a way to make that not happen, but we don't really understand from your vision like how to do that. Mostly just kind of a direction on where to go, and we'll figure out when we get there. But I mean, I appreciate the pictures and the show and everything, but could you maybe just like explain to us the fastest way to get there? Like you know.
I think wowza.
You know it. Tell me.
Would this be Beguile?
Oh man, if you need help, honey, I will come over there.
Yeah, I mean, you may notice
How cute are these oracles on a scale of 1 to 10?
I mean, they live on top of a mountain.
So really cute.
It depends on your perspective. Like, what are your societal norms?
Well, that's true.
I think Eloy probably thinks everybody's real cute.
That's true. I'm not picky.
You don't have Beguile, so I think I'm gonna offer you a risky proposition. The risk here is the ink is upset about your manipulation of its oracles.
Just because it's upset doesn't mean anything.
That's true.
It can be mad all at once. We're leaving.
And of course, this is a good time to remind you all that you can help each other at any time if you can come up with a reason in a way that you're helping.
I mean, I would like to help if this is about trying to like coerce information out of the oracles. I'm more than willing to help. Let's see. I want to see what believable does. Oh. I don't really want to threaten them or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, help is just alertness or cunning, I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would like to use... Oh, I can't use charm to help?
I mean, you could charm someone as a way to like adjust the situation so that it becomes easier, but that would be different from the help or hinder move, which is not to say that you can't do that, just that would be a different thing that we can do instead.
So my my people deal in like, secrets. That's our business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would I know anything that would help coerce them to like?
Do you got any dirt on the oracles?
You have
Yeah,
Beguile.
I do have Beguile.
Skia has Beguile, so you could attempt to like.
Keep in mind that my charm is 1, but I do have Beguile.
Perfect, beautiful, amazing. I love it.
Well, we can help you.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna check some moves really quick because it sounds like the three of you are all doing something slightly different to achieve the same effect, which is fine. I just need to check some stuff real quick.
I'm trying to flirt my way to success over here.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
I'm beautiful. Give me what I want. Tell me what I want to know. I'll bring you something back from Hades.
Okay, so you can... Jesus Christ. There are 3 oracles. You can each attempt to persuade an oracle in a way that you would like. We'll put it that way. There we go. So each of you decide how you're going to try and extract information from these oracles.
Okay, so here's what I want to do, because they're exhausted, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to go, like, basically pamper them. Like, bring them water and, like, massage their shoulders or whatever that they... to, like, basically help them recover and show them that I appreciate, like, what they did for us as the world.
So it sounds like you're getting intimate with one of the oracles.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna roll charm or power.
Right.
Charm. And that lets you do some stuff.
Yeah, and my supernatural allure gives me a +1 to
you have, like,
get
all
intimate.
Of the bonuses.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm gonna say they're pretty vulnerable. This is a difficulty 1.
Okay.
For you.
That's 2 successes with my +1.
Okay, so you're getting intimate with the Oracle Thenton, and he's just like, yeah, I mean, so you take a +1 ongoing. You get to change your relationship tag with them, and their relationship tag with you.
Mm.
So,
You said Thenton?
Thanton. What is Thanton's relationship with you now?
Oh my gosh. Oh man, that's a hard one to answer. What is their relationship with me?
Is it smitten?
Yeah, I think that's good.
All right. So Thanton is smitten with Eloy. What else do you get from that? +1 ongoing with them, and you've got a relationship. Okay, so now your moves with this person are at +1. Jesus. He's like, yeah, I know we've only known each other for so long, but you just seem so nice, and I was wondering if after this whole apocalypse thing, maybe if you were free, he's tired. He has no idea what he's doing.
Well, so it seems like we're going to have to go to Hades, and of course I do know a way in, but I was wondering if possibly you knew a closer way in, and then I can go faster and come back faster, and then maybe we could meet up.
That sounds so dangerous. I'm not so sure. I think this is a risky proposition, and the risk here is simply that he doesn't know anything.
Okay.
Or rather refuses on the grounds of, if you go to Hades, you might die, and I don't know how I would live without you.
Okay.
So let's roll with charm.
Plus that one forward on that
Plus
boy.
the one forward.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
It's difficulty 1.
Yeah, that's 1 success.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So that's a tie.
Mm-hmm.
So on risky proposition, when you get a tie, I wish the moves in the PDF were in the same order as the moves on the sheet, but they're not. Risky.
Partial success. So.
Yeah, so a tie.
Mm.
Nope.
So it's a partial success, or the GM offers you a choice.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. Here's your choice. He'll absolutely tell you what you want to know.
Mm-hmm.
But he's going to require some assurance that you are that you can take care of yourself down there. He's gonna need like some comfort, and doing so, comforting him is going to make Alron jealous.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works out for me.
Okay.
I would rather him be jealous than indifferent towards me. Yeah, I think that's super. I think I can do that. And I think that to assure him that I can take care of myself, because up to this point I have been unarmed. I think she would just be like, you shouldn't worry about me. And then she would manifest her sword, her two-handed sword, the Canyon Maker, which is just this massive battle sword.
It's like, what,
and
3 times as tall as you are?
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's huge. And I think at that like moment that she manifested, her wings just like out to the side that are just like sharp. And she's very intimidating. Like, she's imposing. She's this metallic winged, armed, beautiful lady, basically.
Death Angel.
Yes, Death Angel.
So what do you do that makes Alron jealous?
Well, I think she'd kiss him.
Okay, yeah, that'll do it. And I think in the background we can see Alron like looking over with this, like, when you do this display with like your massive weapon and your wings, and then you like lean down and kiss Thanton, and we see like a scowl appear on Alron's face, and he just turns his back and looks out over the plains beneath the mountain. So here's what I'm going to do. You have a route for the successes from the other 2 characters. That route's going to become safer.
Okay.
So let's go with Xanady. What's your approach here with Orion?
So I'm just simply going to try to pull Orion into my reality. So I guess it would be deceive, because I'm just going to explain to him that, we we're all going to die unless I move forward and do this thing. And so it's in his best interest, tired as he is, like that he wants to give me this information because otherwise he's under threat.
Okay. All right. I think this is a difficulty one. He's mentally weak at the moment.
And that's cunning.
Okay. Ooh,
2 successes.
Nice.
2 successes. All right. So
See, we're doing it. We're doing it now, guys.
a beguile on a success gets you
No, a deceive.
or deceive rather. Sorry. So let's see. Social moves. Deceive. Choose 3. Your ruse is not discovered. The target falls for it. The timing is perfect, or they tell others about it.
Oh, so I choose 3. So the target falls for it. I want him to also try to convince all of these other oracles that it's in their best interest to help us. So that'll be they tell others about it. And my ruse is not discovered.
All right. So I'm going to give +1 forward to Skia for whatever check you use to convince
Nice.
Excellent.
the third oracle.
Excellent.
So you're speaking with Evadne, over separate from the other two. What is Skia's approach?
Well, Evadne,
Yes.
I have some information that could help you. There's something going on here that you don't know about in your own monastery, or whatever it is. And I'll tell you it, but this has to be an exchange of information. I know you know something about our way to Hades. So, you tell me, and I'll tell you something that could be very helpful to you as well.
All right. I think at that moment, Xanady finishes with Orion, and he steps backward in mild dismay, and he just turns around and says, "Tell them whatever they need to know."
That's good, because
What move are you using here?
that has to be Beguile. It's the only social one I got.
Okay, so you're persuading her. What do you know?
Yeah.
What do you know about the situation that she doesn't?
Oh, so the oracles have been unknowingly harboring fugitives from the Uneasy. They're very violent fugitives. Don't know exactly what they did, but they've been they just thought they were taking people, but
I think it's
really,
Phanton.
they were.
I think
Yeah.
Phanton is originally from the Uneasy, and he's like a wanted wanted criminal there.
Well, now I'm in love with them.
Yeah, right?
All right, go ahead and roll +1 on that.
Okay.
And this is also a difficulty one.
Well, I
Oh
failed.
no.
Ah. All right, so I think you say that, and she just looks around at the other two, and she says, "Whatever they were before matters not. They belong to the ink now. That's all
I
we
didn't tell
are."
Alright, whatever. I get up and just sort of leave.
Whatever.
You said that you knew something, and so she's like, "I don't care what you know."
Okay.
But that's 2
Yeah,
successes. You do know of a faster way into Hades. There's a mire nearby, and beneath the roots of an old knotted tree exists a path to Hades. The bit of information that you got from Orion is that in order to pass through, you must knock 3 times and speak your fear unto the tree. So, with that, we're going to go to our second break. We'll be back in a couple minutes to see how our characters fare in Hades. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. The game. Hello and welcome back to the third hour of Fun Shots Crimson Sun. You have traveled some days to this elder tree in a bog nearby. Summer, make sure to mark road provisions or whatever it's called. Another chunk of that for the journey. And yeah, so the bog is like dark and misty. There's like this fog that hangs low everywhere. The trees are like crooked and their limbs are at like right angles, and everything is very gnarled and old and it's decaying. But after maybe a day of traveling through this land, you reach this much larger tree that probably goes some 100 feet into the air. Its massive branches spreading out across the bog for maybe a mile, and you're pretty sure this is the tree that you were told about before. What do you do?
Well, I don't know about the two of you, but I could go first. If you wanted.
Be my guest.
Yeah.
Okay, so she goes up to the tree and knocks on it 3 times. And she says, I'm afraid of being unwanted by the people.
Nothing happens.
I'm afraid of being unwanted by the people that I love.
The tree groans. It's wooden groan, and there's a faint cackle somewhere. What do you do?
Let me in?
Nothing happens.
Oh, I don't know, everybody. She turns around and looks back at everybody like,
Maybe we all have to go.
okay, well. She like steps aside, like, come on up.
I walk up to the tree,
Mhm.
knock 3 times.
Mhm.
I'm afraid that even Myros is something I just made up.
There's that faint cackle again.
Well, that's not very nice.
Skia, like to tell
Skia
us all something about yourself?
skulks up and like, knocks on the tree 3 times. Like, I'm afraid one day I will fall.
Are you now? What about
Yeah.
today? And coming out of the wood is suddenly this like pointy goblin-like face, and 5 of these creatures begin climbing out of, like, extricating themselves from the wood of the tree with the sharp knives in their hands. And
What
they're
do
going
not
to
like.
leap directly at you, Skia. What do you do?
Dodge as much out of the way and swipe at one of them with my claws.
Okay, so you're not necessarily trying to avoid damage so much as engage in combat.
I would prefer to avoid damage. I was just
Okay. Then that would be a risky proposition, and the risk here is that you're going to take harm.
okay.
So, and I think with this, alertness is your is your stat.
Okay.
This is a difficulty 1.
Okay.
Hey, yeah, okay.
How
So
about
you
that?
these tiny like wooden goblin creatures leap at you with their knives, and you just like teleport away. There's this poof of shadow, and you appear somewhere else. And they all go toppling to the ground, and then stand up, ready to fight. What do you do?
Okay, I'd like to flash step to one of them and attack with my Heartrune axe.
Okay.
Okay.
So, what move are you using for that? That would be, I think that's range, right? Because you're using flash step.
Yeah, it's range because I'm using flash step. All right.
Is that another success? Hot diggity.
Another one. Apparently,
Dang.
now
Oh,
it's
right.
working.
Okay, so
This is what you're good at.
Let's check
Finally, I
out-
found it.
Let's check out ranged. Ranged. When you shoot an opponent, exchange harm and roll alertness. On a success, choose 3. Inflict +1 harm. Suffer -1 harm. Your enemy is pinned down in place, or you remain undetected. What's the harm on your axe?
It's +5. The tags are melee, ink, parry, hidden, and cursing. So I don't know what cursing means.
I think it means whatever we want it to mean, and I think it means
Cool.
anyone who is harmed by the axe is cursed. So it's
Oh, I like that.
I like that
5,
too.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And so which things do you want from that? You get 3 off of the list. +1 harm to them, -1 harm to you. Your enemy is pinned down in place, and you remain undetected.
Okay, so the +1 harm to them, -1 to me, ideally. And then,
Okay.
if we can interpret I remain undetected as being, like, I can flash step to a different location, so I'm not immediately in melee with them
Okay.
anymore. I'll do that.
Yeah. Well, and I think also that means you're going into stealth at that point. So
Yes.
you will after
could do
that be gaining your stealth bonuses.
My assassin thing. Yeah, okay. I
so
like that.
Okay. So +1, -1 harm. You take where is it? I believe it's 2 harm, but let me just double check really quick. NPCs. Yeah, you take 2 harm.
My armor is 2.
Perfect. So this thing, like you come out of nowhere with this axe, right? And you bury it sort of like halfway into its wooden chest with the like dull thud, and it lashes out with its knife, but it just scrapes across your armor.
Okay.
Xanady, what would you like to do?
I will bring out both my armor and my staff from whatever it's called.
From your nothing space?
The solid thought. Yes. So the staff appears, and then I start to become covered in like these scale mail that kind of pop into looking almost like a solidness across her unsolid form. And then I will cast an arcane spell with the staff on these goblin things.
Okay. So go ahead and roll arcane.
Ugh, God.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh my god. That's not great.
Mad skills!
Fortunately, they actually can't fight back, because they can only exchanging harm only happens if they have the same range tag as you. So since they don't have the arcane tag, they have melee and they have ranged, you don't have to worry about that. I just want to double check what arcane does on a failure. No, not arcane trap. Arcane, there we go. On a miss, choose one and fate intervenes. So you choose inflict +1 harm, suffer -1 harm, you hit several adjacent opponents, or you hide your magical power.
I will inflict +1 harm.
Okay, so how much damage is that total?
My stuff is 7. And then is there damage that goes with the arcane beyond that? Or is
no.
it just the +1? Okay.
Yeah, harm is decided by the tool you're using.
Got it. So then that would be a total of 8, including the...
Okay, so let's see. Mark 1, because fate intervenes. Mark 1 XP. Your magic completely obliterates the creature. It dies instantly. It's like running toward you with its knife raised, ready to try and hack you into bits, and you just blast it into nothingness. I think maybe it's like these glittering stars almost for a moment. But
oh, so pretty.
There's this loud boom that echoes out, and I think along with it, our camera pulls back, and we see the shockwave spread out from you. And elsewhere in the bog, you hear creatures stirring. Eloy.
Okay. Guess I have. So, she's going to manifest her sword and dagger. And she is going to charge and attack the nearest creature with her two-handed canyon maker, quite large.
This enormous
sword.
motherfucking sword.
Yes,
right.
The biggest sword.
Go ahead and roll. What is that? Melee?
Yeah.
Okay. Go for it.
Not great, everybody. Let's get ready.
This is difficulty 1. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yikes.
I know.
Okay, so
Not
on
good.
a miss, you choose one and fate intervenes. So choose one, +1 harm to them, -1 harm to you. You overrun their position, you outmaneuver your opponent, or you grapple with your opponent.
I think that I overrun their position.
Okay. You're gonna take 3 harm from them.
Okay.
As they you come swinging in with this sword, and it smashes into one. How much damage does it do? What's its harm?
My harm with my sword?
Mm-hmm.
8.
Okay, so you just cleave one of them in 2, and then there's this anime moment where the action pauses before the ground beneath it just shatters open. But in your gusto to run up and hack this thing in half, one of them gets in behind you and stabs you like right in your back, for 3 harm. But with the explosion from your sword as the ground is rent, the remaining 2 creatures are sent distant from you back up into the boughs of the tree. Mark 1 for fate intervening, and then I'm going to get to do an extra thing, which is that you can hear behind you the bog sort of blooping and bubbling, and this large goopy half-formed creature rises out of the water with like moss and mud hanging off of it. We have introduced a new opponent. All right. Back to the top.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
My supernatural lure. It says I can
Yes.
use it in combat, but I don't know what that means.
That means you can instead of attacking people, you can just charm them.
In combat?
Yes.
Okay.
You
Just gonna
can
keep that in
use-
my heart.
You can use your social moves in combat.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to know that.
Just rename your character Fade to Black. All right. Okay, Skia. This new creature, enormous as it is, it's probably some like 20 feet high, has risen up behind the group. What do you do?
Okay. I would like to flash step up to like its head area, hit it with the axe, and if possible, flash step right back away. Sort of.
Okay, so it hasn't seen
Whoop,
you because
whoop.
you're hidden. So
Yeah.
you teleport up and swing in
Yeah.
with the axe. Go ahead and roll ranged.
Yeah.
I imagine you like teleport up and like do a little flip.
Yeah, obviously. Never actually land. That would be. Alright, so I got 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay, that is a tie. So you're gonna choose 2.
Okay.
Off of ranged. So inflict +1 harm, suffer -1 harm. The enemy is pinned in place, or you remain undetected.
I'd like to take. I would like to take 1 less harm and
Mhm.
remain undetected, so I just swoop back down and hide.
Okay, so you take let's see, that's 3 harm -2 for your armor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you take 1 harm.
-1 because that's the thing I took.
Right, it would be total of 4
Yeah.
originally.
Oh, okay.
So it gets
Right.
brought down
Of
to
course.
a 1 as it like its sort of half shapen mouth opens and it's got like these teeth sort of like tombstones. And it just barely manages to bite onto your ankle before you flash away. But then
Oh yeah.
you disappear into a puff of smoke.
Okay.
And it has no idea where you went. And you dealt how much damage was that?
If that's with my assassin thing,
Yes.
then 7.
7. Okay. Modified down. It's a total of 3. As it's like you slough off some of its mucky hide, but you're not entirely sure that all of that was actual creature.
All right.
All right. Who would like to go next?
Are there still goblins?
Yes,
Or-
there are 2 of them up in the branches.
Then I'm gonna try to. Well, first I'm gonna say, really, and then I'm going to try to attack the goblins in the branches.
Okay. So you're gonna cast some magic at them?
Yes, so I'll cast Arcane again.
Dance, magic, dance. All right. Go ahead and roll Arcane. And this is a 1.
Yes.
Hey, 2 successes. Okay, so that means you succeed. You get to choose 3. +1 harm, -1 harm. Hit several adjacent opponents. You hide your magical power.
So I'm going to inflict 1 harm, +1 harm.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit several adjacent opponents so I can hit both of them.
Okay.
And I guess I don't need to hide my magical power. I guess I could suffer -1
They cannot
harm.
deal harm to you from this range.
Okay. So I guess I hide my magical power. I just barely look in there. So what I do is I barely look in the direction after I say really, and I just look at them, and whatever effect happens just happens.
I think they like are there and they're like cackling and they're looking back and forth and talking to each other. And then all of a sudden they just sort of whoop, swirl into non-existence. All right, Eloy, you've got like your sword embedded into the ground, and then you just look over, and there's this enormous monster looming over you. What do you do? Or should I ask, who do you do?
I
Get
know.
intimate, obviously.
Should I with this giant
Yeah.
creature?
You can.
I think
Well.
so.
I can try. I can put on the best face I've got with this creature. Sure, why not? I'm gonna try to ultra tempting supernatural allure this monster.
Okie doke. So
And-
that's like what, a +2 or something, or is it supernatural allure is a +1?
Yeah. I don't know what ultra tempting I think is specifically 2 things that I don't have, which is a
Let
bummer.
me see. Supernatural allure is +1 to beguile, courtship, and intimate, and then ultra tempting. Ultra tempting. You have a super ability. Pick one from the stats list below. When you use your super ability, roll stat.
I just take one forward, yeah.
Okay.
So I would run. So technically, I would like roll my ultra tempting to get one forward on.
Gotcha.
Charm.
Okay, so roll charm.
Okay.
This
Just
is a
straight
2.
charm.
Yeah.
Okay, so not plus my supernatural.
No.
Okay. 2
Hey.
successes.
Okay, so you tied it.
Okay.
It works, but the GM introduces collateral damage. I think it works. You turn on your supernatural allure. You like become super beautiful. But sort of you're a little desperate, so you're indiscriminate, and it affects everyone in the area.
Oh. Okay.
So, would you like to roll get intimate with the monster?
Yes.
All right.
So
So
okay, so
roll
that's a
plus 1.
+2. Oh no, because it's also my.
Oh, right. You get
Yeah,
+1
sorry.
for your. God damn
Yeah.
it, Summer. Okay, so
I've
this is difficulty
trained my
2
life.
with a +2.
Yeah. Okay, well, I had 2 6s anyway, so.
That's a crit, right? Are crits a thing in this game? I forget.
I don't know.
But it's definitely a success. I'll give it that. I'm not even gonna call it a tie with this.
Okay.
I'm gonna call that a success. So let's look at Get Intimate, shall we, friends?
Let's look at it.
So, when you succeed, you change both your tag with them and their tag with you. You're going to apply this to the monster.
I have the perfect
Oh, God,
tag.
whose name is
Yeah, what's their name?
it's just Boggling.
Boggling.
So what is their relationship with you?
So I would be their mistress, is what I'm gonna
Oh
say.
God. Ah. Okay. And then I'm going to let you redefine your relationship with and their relationship with you with one of the PCs.
Oh, with one of the PCs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. I think it's gonna be with Xanity. And I'm going to say that what was my current tag from Xanity?
Quizzical amusement.
I would like to change both of ours to the same thing, and it's temptation.
Ooh, okay. And you now have +1 ongoing with boggling, and with sanity.
Okay.
So boggling is like rising up above you to strike you down, and then you just sort of turn around and we get like the slow hair flip, except with your petals it's like they shake and shimmer all like sharp and metallic in slow motion, and it just goes and then stops mid-action. What would you all like to do?
I just want to go in the tree.
Okay.
So, basically, I want to look at the boggling and say, if you could just stand to the side.
It like glorps backward a little bit.
And I want to make a move to see if I can get in this tree.
Okay. What move are you trying to make?
That's a great question.
Isn't it though?
Maybe seize by force? I don't know.
You're just gonna attack the tree? Okay.
I want to open the tree, but like, so the way that we heard to get in, like, didn't work. But I don't know if that's because of the little goblins or... Maybe, I guess, read a situation. Or is the tree count as a person?
Okay, let's see. What does read person give you?
No, it's more about feelings. I guess it would be more about reading a situation.
What a game.
What a game.
All right, you're going to read a situation. I think this is still pretty charged
okay.
at the moment, so I'll allow that.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll that.
Okay.
This is a 1. This is a DN 1.
Okay. Let's see if I can do it. Nope. Oops.
Ooh. Yep. No. On a failure, ask 1 and fate intervenes.
Okay.
So mark experience, and then ask 1.
Okay. What detail are we missing?
The detail you're missing is that when you killed the goblins, an opening appeared in the tree near the bottom of its roots. The complication is that it's starting to close.
Can I move hastily towards it and get the group to come with me?
I will allow each of you to make a risky proposition to get in before it closes. The risk here is that it's going to close on you and cause some damage.
Okay.
So
yeah, and I just kind of point to the hole and say, it looks like it's closing. We should probably go soon, fast, like right now.
And I think this is an alertness, with difficulty 1. Which I know is your favorite stat, Summer, specifically.
Yeah, I'm not great at alertness.
Paying attention, what's that? Did you just get the exact same roll?
No, that was me.
Okay. Well, all right.
Shit. Oh, man.
Ski's like, fuck all y'all bitches, I'm out of here.
Can I help one of them? Drag them in or something?
I was gonna say the same, but like, could I get my bog boy to help keep the hole open?
Yeah, you could. You could spend your +1 ongoing.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so that'll get you up to a 4, which is a success. That's a tie. So Skia and Eloy are going to tie. And and Xanady is going to run into some issues. So first, a tie means a partial success, or the GM offers you a choice. I'm going to give Eloy a choice. You can absolutely make it in time, but your attendants cannot. You'll be cut off from your caravan. Or you don't make it in time, and it's going to close, and you will be stuck on the outside and have to find another way.
All of my attendants, even my boyfriend?
You know what? Alron can make it, but just Alron.
That's fine.
He's
I'll
gonna
take
love
it.
that.
He's
all right,
trapped with me now.
So I think what this looks like is you just grab Alron and swoop in through before it closes. Skia, you also got a tie. So is there a choice I can offer you here? I think I'm just going to go with the partial success. Which means you're not going to take any damage, but I'm going to give you a -1 forward to your next physical move.
All right.
And lastly, Xanady, I don't know if you were paying attention when Eloy was like, hey, this thing is closing, or you just didn't care.
I figured I was being still so stunned by her display earlier that I was just kind of watching what she was doing and I wasn't listening to what she was saying.
Oh my
Perfect.
gosh,
You're
I
like,
love that. Yeah.
Oh, Eloy. Oh. And then you go, oh, Eloy, and you like rush for it. And it is going to close partially on you, and you're going to take 1 harm. But the 4 of you are now inside this tunnel beneath the tree, the pathway leading down toward what you assume is Hades. What do you do?
Let's go.
Oh, I see. Alron looks longingly back at the closed entrance to the tunnel.
I agree, Elron. Eloy, you've left all your clothes out there.
I would have brought them if I could have managed to grab all of them, but I had to choose.
And you chose. He looks over at you.
Yeah, I chose you.
I see. Well, straightens his vest. Allow me to lead the way. He'll step forward and like conjures a little like glowy orb in his hand and holds it aloft.
Thanks, Allie.
As you wish, milady. I assume you follow him down. The pathway takes it's hard to tell how long it takes you to reach something worth talking about without the sun to guide your sense of time. But after a while, you find your way out into this expansive cavern. The tunnel opens up before you, almost like a hungry maw with these vast stalactites above you, and you can see a dark black river running through, and there is a man standing next to the river with his arms crossed, looking around, keeping an eye out. What do you do?
Let me handle this. I've got this under control. And she's going to like walk up to him ahead of the others.
When he
and
sees
say,
you, he's like this. he's got like animal ears and like fur in places, and he steps into sort of like an almost combative stance, and this vaguely magical gateway appears and shimmers behind him. Halt, living one. This is not your realm.
Oh, I know. I know it's your job to guard the gate, but I really need to get through.
I am afraid I cannot make exceptions. Only the dead may pass.
What's your name?
Karaboros.
I think I've heard of you.
And yours?
No, but... Oh, I'm Eloy.
I've heard of you as well. He, like, his ears flatten a little bit warily.
So then you know that I can make it worth your time if you let us across.
Sounds like you're making a move. Are you? Are you
Yeah.
courting? Are you courting Karaboros?
Yes.
All right. So, think you can roll charm here.
Yeah, I get a charm +1 for
Um,
courtship.
This is a difficulty 2.
Okay. Oh no.
Ooh.
Even
That
with the +1.
That is a failure. So I think, yeah, you like are starting to be like, hey, I can make this worth your time. And he just like growls a little bit, says, My duty is the only thing that matters to me. Your trifling offers matter not. I shall see you again
So-
when you are dead.
I really hate to do this, but we really do need to get through. Is he living?
Yes.
So you see, the living world, our world, is in danger, and the only way to fix it is if we can get through. That includes you.
So it sounds to me like you're trying to use Beguile, which you don't have. So instead, this is going to be a risky proposition.
Okay.
Risky proposition with charm, difficulty number 2, and the risk here is that he is going to attack you for
Okay.
attempting to sway him from
Right.
his post.
Right. Man, if I had Beguile, I'd have a +2 to Beguile everybody. All right, let's do it. Fingers crossed. 2 successes.
2 successes. That's a tie. Okay, so let's see what happens on a tie. That means partial success, or I give you a choice.
Okay.
Let's see. Ooh.
If you don't
Partial
trust us on the
success.
other side, you could come with us.
I'm gonna give you a partial success.
Okay.
And that's you can distract him, but I'm invoking your flaw.
Uh-oh. Okay.
You're gonna have to physically pull him away from the gate and let your friends go on ahead of you.
Okay. Yep, I think that's fair.
All right. So go ahead and mark experience for having your flaw invoked. And we're just going to camera turn away from Eloy while the rest of the group walks in through the gates of Hades. I'm sure
Wow,
you'll catch up
okay.
with the group eventually.
Oh man.
So, the two of you are now down a spiky metal succubus, wandering along the banks of the river Styx. What do you do with Alron with you?
Take Alron with you.
The poor guy.
Don't let him see me like this.
Okay, Aaron, you should come with us. Just come on.
Just don't look. It's not.
It's cool. Just come with us.
Of course. This is not the first time. Okay, so you head on. Do you have a plan now that you're here in Hades? Are you gonna like search around, ask around? What's the deal?
Well, I mean, I guess Eloy knew where this passage that was the passage nobody was into was, and she's busy. So, I don't know. I guess my instinct is going to be trudge boldly forward and just kind of look around, but not too quickly so we don't leave Eloy too far behind. But I imagine that Skia is not going to be real into trudging boldly into an unknown situation.
I'd like to do what I can to skulk, keeping an eye out for
Okay.
anything. So that would probably end up being move stealthily because I can't just. There's no like investigate.
That does sound correct to
Yeah.
me. And I think
Alright.
for Xanady, you're like looking around, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you read the situation. So Skia, go ahead and attempt to move stealthily.
Okay. That's a one success.
Oh, that's tie. So you're cutting it close, but you're gonna make it through. You avoid getting caught or noticed, but only just barely. You're not in a strong position here.
That sounds about right.
And then read the situation. That's one success. All right, so that's a tie. Which gets you ask one off of the list. So that list again is: what's the best escape route? Which enemy is most vulnerable? Which enemy is the biggest threat? What should I be on the lookout for? Who's in control? What detail are we missing? Or one specific question about a detail of your choice.
Think, what should I be on the lookout for? Because she's just randomly wandering now.
I think you should be on the lookout for the Palace of Hades himself, right? I think because you remember Eloy mentioning that, or somebody mentioning that it looked like the place you're trying to get to is beyond the Well of Souls. So you're keeping an eye out for that. Eloy will wrap up her business with Karaboros and presumably get on her way toward the party, who have wandered off in a direction she's not quite sure of. But we will find out if the party can make their way finally to the center of the earth, or if their quest ends here, fittingly, in the pits of Hades, after our final break. So we're going to step away for a couple minutes and see what happens next. See you in a little bit. Hello, and welcome back to the final hour of Funshot's Crimson Sun. Our protagonists have wandered into Hades. Xanady and Skia are skulking about, and Eloy is making her way downtown.
Oh my god.
So, Eloy, you don't know where your friends went. You know where they were supposed to go, because you know where the the space was, like the passageway.
Yeah.
But you don't know if they went that way or not. What do you do?
Let's see. Um, I mean, it's like I almost want to have faith in them and start to go the correct way. But at the same time, I'm concerned that they went off and then will be separated for good. So I don't know. I feel like I would want to see if I could tell which way they went, like look for signs of them, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was three living people walking through some tunnel. So maybe they left some kind of trace. I don't know. What do you
That
think?
would have been super smart of us, huh?
That
Leave breadcrumbs or something for me?
entirely counter to my whole thing.
I think you can read the situation
Okay.
to try and discern some stuff.
Okay.
Or you could always open your mind and ask one of the power pools for help.
Well, I don't know about that because I've seen what happens.
I got a really awesome arm tattoo.
Also, my spirit is
Basically,
terrible.
yeah.
I would rather roll my 1 alertness.
Okay.
Okay, here I go. I'm gonna try and look
See
for
if you can
him.
get a tie.
Nope.
Nope.
So I
Okay.
guess I don't know where they
you
went,
get to
huh?
ask one, and fate intervenes. So mark experience for fate intervening,
Okay.
and then go ahead and answer or ask a question. What's the best escape route? Which enemy is most vulnerable? I think this is one specific question about a detail, which is which way did they go?
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm gonna ask.
Okay, so you can see where they went. What trail did they leave behind that you're following?
I would guess footprints. I feel like the dead don't really leave footprints. So I would say that there's like a physical evidence of the path that they took.
Okay, so they're like disturbed rocks and whatnot that you're like, aha,
Yeah.
a foot. That was Oleron right there. Okay.
I know his tracks very well.
Oh my.
I'm following his scent.
Oh god. No.
Hey, I'm in
I
love.
hate
I'm allowed to do
this.
these things.
All right.
Question, did they go the right way?
That's a real good question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let me read a thing real quick.
Okay.
Okay, I think you're following this trail, and you get the impression that they've gone in generally the correct direction.
Okay.
But as you're walking along, you start to notice things that you sort of, I mean, you've been in Hades before, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so you're noticing things you haven't seen before, by which I mean living things,
Oh.
skittering, chittering things. There are like bugs and insects laying around the path, skittering around,
Oh.
that you would not expect to see in Hades. What do you do?
That's. Are they moving in a particular direction? Like, does it seem to be unified movement, or is it just like suddenly there's a bug infestation in Hades?
Suddenly there's a bug infestation in Hades, although you're noticing there's like moving rocks around and forming patterns of what look like footprints.
Oh. So that maybe like the path I'm following isn't 100% left by my companions. Oh.
Perhaps.
I'm going to continue to go the way that I know to be the way, like deeper towards Hades.
Okay. I would like you to roll a risky proposition with. Ooh, what's this going to be? Alertness.
No.
Would you rather spirit?
No.
Okay, so alertness. The risk here is that the restless depths are going to latch onto you in a sense, and you will not notice.
Okay.
This is the difficulty 0, so you can
Okay.
actually pass it.
Okay. 1 success.
Okay, so you're walking along, and you feel this like centipede crawling up your leg, and you just like grab it and throw it off to the side, and it like when it hits the rock, it shatters into like 1,000 beetles that skitter away and into the rocks out of sight. Meanwhile, Eloy and Skia, you are somewhere up ahead. Or not Eloy, Xanady, rather. Xanady and Skia are up ahead.
And my boy.
And your boy, Alron. Oh, God. Xanady, what conversation are you having with Alron?
I guess you and Eloy, you guys have been together long? Like, you said this happens before, like, long-term thing?
I have been in her service for many decades.
Yeah. So, cool. Yeah. How'd you meet?
I was looking for work. She was looking for a driver. Had I known any better, I would have gotten a job elsewhere. But something... He looks sort of disturbed about her. Drew me to the position, to the job. I found myself unable to say no.
You kind of sound like you're not all that into the job. I mean, I don't know. I think hanging around with Eloy's rad. Like, I don't know. It's always interesting. It's not like she's bad to look at. I mean,
That is certainly true.
if you don't like it, couldn't you, quit? Like, maybe she'd treat you better if you just, had a spine.
That is, perhaps, the curse of Eloy. Once you have met her, you cannot quite leave. Not all of you. Anyway. But as well, once you have spent as much time with her as I have, you come to understand that what she wants is not you. Not truly.
Were you a poet before you decided to become a driver by any chance? Did you read a lot of odes? Because I feel like you're just kind of putting a lot of yourself into the situation.
Milady has had me read many poems. And I think around this point, you come around a corner and you, the ground opens up before you, and there's this massive, swirling, glowing vortex of wailing souls, and suspended above it is this ebon castle. What do you do?
I look back at Skia and say, do you think that's it?
Yes. Probably. Very
We should-
ostentatious.
We should probably wait for Eloy.
That is probably wise. We're supposed to avoid that place, right?
Think we were supposed to get across it? I'm just gonna sit.
Yeah, Eloy will. Eloy actually knows what we're doing here, so I find a shadow to huddle in.
There are plenty.
There's plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you find one that suits you just fine.
Excellent.
After a time, I think, Eloy, you managed to catch up with the group. They're just sort of lounging about at the edge of this this maelstrom. What do you do when you come upon them?
Hi.
Do you have fun?
Yes. I feel like you guys came the long way. And she like looks up at the castle.
There's like this teensy tiny, like almost razor thin bridge of stone that leads from the edge of the well up to the castle.
I guess we should take the bridge. You guys didn't have to wait for me. I would have caught up to you in the castle, I'm sure.
Well, we weren't quite sure where we're going next.
It's probably best that I went first.
And you are the person who knows all the people, right?
Some of the people.
Oh.
Anyway, I'm glad you all made it here. Did you see the bugs? There shouldn't be bugs here, but there are. Kind of like the ones that were in the ink.
Ew.
Skia scratches her arm, kind of like.
Yeah, I think there's like a spider that crawls over Skia's hand where she was like leaning on the rock.
And like shake it off, like a.
Well, we should go. We don't have time to lose.
Yeah.
It
So
should
we're
be
going
easy
in
to-
the castle.
Charges off.
All right. So you head across the windy bridge to the throne of Hades. Is this Eloy's first time here?
Yes, it's definitely
Okay.
her first. She's met people who have been here or at least have claimed to be here. And she's definitely like, I think, gotten kind of close or has maybe seen it from a very far distance, but I don't think she's ever been inside before. So, new experience.
Okay. So there's no one here. It's just all like carved gargoyles and like suits of armor from various parts of the world and bones and various macabre goth shit. But as you progress through the palace, you find your way to a throne room, and down each side of the chamber, like the walls are carved to look like they're made of various skeletons all intermingling, glowing with this eerie blue flame, and sitting on this like square black stone throne on the opposite end of the room is a slightly gaunt woman reclining in the throne. You are not dead.
Sorry to disappoint.
For what reason do you approach Hades?
We've come on a quest of sorts.
What is it you seek? She looks at each of you in turn, sort of like measuring.
The core? I think we're just passing by, but we're headed to the core.
You seek the heart of the world.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if we need to seek it. We're just going there. We don't need to take it with us or anything. We're just going.
It would be a bit large to carry with you, I'm afraid. I see no amusement in helping you, though. And you will not gain entrance to the pathway without me, so I am deeply sorry for wasting your time.
I would never say that meeting you was a waste of time.
Your flattery rings of death, Angel.
You could come with us. I suppose that no one has ever called you a hero.
I have no need of being a hero. I am exarch of this land, this entire realm. All of its souls are mine. You. She looks at Skia. I know your name. You have sent many to my doorstep.
I mean, it was my job, but yes. I like my job.
Do you?
Yes.
Perhaps a deal could be struck. You who have offered so many to me,
Yes.
given so many citizens to my kingdom.
I do what I can.
Give me one more, and I will let you pass.
Got anybody in mind?
Take your pick.
Oh, of the ones here. Okay.
Indeed.
I'll stay.
Okay.
Elrond just sort of like starts. Milady, I'm afraid I must advise you against this.
It'll be very fast.
The world of the living is so expensive, and here is so dull. I fear you would not like it here long.
Well, it's better me than you.
Hi. Respectfully, madam, I disagree.
So you want me to
Well,
commute?
that sounds decided then.
Yeah. Okay, that's 3-1. All right,
No.
let's do this.
Elrond,
No, couldn't we make a different deal?
Like, I already have my clause that, like,
Haven't you ever? No. We can negotiate.
Hades is just grinning at all of this. Auron puts a hand on your shoulder and like, ow, because he cuts himself on your wing. I will be here someday, regardless, and
Well, the same for any of us.
'twould be my honor to take your place. There are so many places you have yet to visit. And while it may be dark here, I know that the memory of you will bring me light.
Sanity just rolls across the room and says, "Oh, for goodness sake."
Iskeer's like, I'm not entirely sure what to do because I normally don't like let them talk it out first.
Right, you just sort of like,
This is-
dead.
like-
Okay.
This is ridiculous.
This is really
What about
weird.
her? Can we
Hades.
pick her?
My lady. And she like turns to Hades, like really huffy. Like she's like, couldn't I just serve here for a time? Maybe half a century. I could keep you company.
Could you?
Everyone else.
Everyone's like, here we go again. Roll. Ooh. What am I going to have you roll?
Courtship?
Okay, yeah. I have you roll courtship, and this is going to be charm. This is difficulty 3.
Oh my god. Okay.
You get a +1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh my god. Jesus. One success.
Very well. I accept. You will serve here at my pleasure for a time. And you can tell with the tone in her voice that there is a dark truth behind her words. And that time that she means is eternity.
All right.
You seek the heart of this world. She gestures, and like a massive blue flame appears in the wall, and the wall just parts and reveals another passageway into the depths. There are things down there. Things that do not wish to see visitors. Be careful.
My lady, if I may, if I am to serve you, then maybe a blessing to see my passage safe.
It shall be as you say. All things you touch shall perish.
Oh my. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Go now. There is not much time before this age ends.
I should have just killed him.
My sweet baby, no way! Leave him alone!
It would be so much better.
Wait, this is better.
No.
What are you talking about? This is way better. Watch out for me, everybody. Nobody touch me.
Seriously.
Oh,
High
God.
five. I mean, no.
Almost. I should probably walk either very far in the front or very far in the back.
Well, that went well.
You know, like maybe I could just go and like get the original deal where I kill your half boyfriend and then like you don't have to.
Yeah, can we go back for that deal? I mean, really.
That one seems
'Cause-
better.
Because,
If you
Eloy, I don't mean to be a little insensitive, but you realize that she's not going to let him stay with her anyway.
No, I know.
if you wish to add more to the deal, I will always take more.
No, ma'am.
It's moot. We've struck this deal, so let's move forward. Right? Right?
Yes. Let's move forward quickly.
So you head on into the tunnel and into the deep of the earth. As you go, the chill of death leaves you, and the air becomes suffused with the warmth of raw life. The warmth which elsewhere in the world brings forth creatures within the desert, the boiling within the sea, the enormous trees of the forest. And after perhaps an hour journey, you find yourself standing before a massive crystalline structure glowing a faint rosy red, and from it you hear a boom 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 boom.
So we've made it. I shouldn't touch it.
No, you shouldn't.
That's a good plan. That's a good plan.
I'm just gonna keep my hands to myself.
Hands in pockets?
I don't have pockets.
No. There we go.
You have a massive wardrobe and you don't have a single outfit with pockets.
She had to
I
leave it
left
outside.
behind.
You're not wearing clothes.
No.
Never mind.
She's just
Wait,
wearing.
has Eloy been naked this whole time?
Yeah. I mean, she wears jewelry.
But what? But wardrobe. Oh,
Perfect.
She has jewelry, like lots of like bracelets and necklaces and like things like that. But she doesn't wear clothes really. She just likes having them, just in case.
Perfect, just to look at.
Hmm.
Okay.
She just likes having things.
you insisted on having that cart with you instead of the food.
She's
You're
practical like
alive.
that.
We're all fine.
Debatable. Okay.
Well,
There's
not
a,
debatable that you're alive.
No, that the we're all fine part.
There's a faint rumbling beneath your feet.
The rest of you should go. What it needs.
So, is there like, can you walk around the heart? Is it
Yeah,
like,
it's like this large spherical chamber, and in the center there are these two spires of rock from the ceiling and the ground that are holding this crystal.
well, I start walking around it. It seems to be beating. That's a good start.
Do we know what color it's supposed to be, or is this the right one?
You could... what could you roll?
Read a situation?
Yeah, you
I'd
can
like to
read-
do that too. I know we're supposed to look for.
Okay.
Okay. Alertness. Cool.
Does
Can
someone want to read and someone can help?
I will
Um,
read because I got 3 alert.
Okay, I can help. I would like to pull on the notes that we took when we were at the oracles.
Okay.
to help.
All
So
right, sounds good. So you're
I
gonna be
think I
rolling
rolled
with cunning.
that. Yeah, with cunning.
Yeah.
That's one success from my alert
Okay.
or my cunning.
Let me see. Basic moves. Help or hinder. Yeah, you will. You'll take a +1 on the roll, Skia.
All right.
Ooh, one success.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's a. That's a failure. So you're gonna ask one, and Fate's gonna intervene. So mark 1 experience, and you're gonna ask one. What's the best escape route? Which enemy is most vulnerable? Which enemy is the biggest threat? And what should I be on the lookout for? Who's in control? What detail are we missing? Or one specific question about a detail of your choice.
What detail are we missing?
So this actually works in perfectly with my GM move that I'm triggering too. You realize as you listen to this heart, and you think back on all of the information that you've gathered so far, you feel sort of a kinship with it. You've felt its blood, its lifeblood coursing through the forests of your home. And you know that the end of this age really has nothing to do with the sun. It is a passing of a time for the world, and all living worlds must, in time, change. The end of the First Age is not caused by the Crimson Sun. The Crimson Sun is a sign. The end of the First Age is a natural progression of the living world itself. In order to stop it, you will have to kill the world. And it will never progress. And with that, a large, an ominous skittering can be heard, and the insects of the restless deep gather together and form this sort of swarming thing around the heart of the world. And amidst all the buzzing and the clicking from these insects, you hear a voice. You would seek an end to this life, but this life belongs to the deep.
You again.
Why is it always the
Restless.
bugs?
This is the restless depths, isn't it?
Yep.
Fuck.
You just like walked into its home and were like, hi.
We just
What do I have to do to touch everything?
just
What do you have to
roll
do to
around on the
touch
floor.
everything?
What do I have to do to touch the bugs and the heart and everything?
Risky proposition. You're gonna have to like try and dive past the bugs to the heart, basically, because like these bugs are innumerable. They're essentially infinite, and so will like cast their lives aside in an attempt to keep you away from the heart. And so it's going to be a risky proposition to push through to the heart.
Okay.
I'd like to help her in some way.
Okay.
Don't know if it'll be alertness or cunning, but just sort of like help clear a path in front of her.
Yeah, I think how I would like to handle this is to move basically into combat, and have Skia and Xanady, if she wishes, engage the restless depths as Eloy attempts to press through. And as Xanady and Skia have success, they will make it easier for Eloy.
I would like to charm the depths.
Yes, this is perfect. This is what we need.
Okay. All right.
And I would like to leverage my position as a servant of Hades. So it's kind of like not only am I like a living being, but I am also something that belongs to Hades
you're
for the
marked-
taking.
Marked
I'm
by
like
God.
upping my status. My status has gone up.
Okay.
My value.
So let me.
I'm ultra tempting. I'm supernatural, alluring. I'm not wearing any
Right.
clothes.
Not wearing any clothes.
I've got
Make sure to
I've
work
got
that one in there.
connection.
Let's see. Is this mythical? Is this I think this is divine. The fact that you're marked by Hades will bring it down a level. That'll get it down to mythical. But I think like all of those things give you +1 bonuses, but I don't think they reduce the difficulty. I
Okay.
think the difficulty is a difficulty 3.
Okay. But they can assist and give me bonuses.
Yes. So,
Okay.
Skia, would you like to murder some bugs?
I would love to. It's my. Oh, yes. So that'll be flash step, I assume.
Okay. So you're
Use my heart rune axe, which is appropriate because it's blessed by the ink, and
yeah. I'll give you I'll
This guy put
reduce the
bugs in his
difficulty. I'll reduce the difficulty by 1, down
Okay.
to 3 for that. So like Eloy is just walking toward this massive dark swarm, and Skia, you like teleport in to attack. Go ahead and roll. Is that
1 success.
okay? Do you have any pluses to that at all, or is it all just bonus harm?
I don't know what. I mean, there's hidden and cursing. Whatever ink does, parry. Those are the tags on my axe.
All right.
I don't know. I don't think I have anything.
I don't think so either. So let's check. What does ranged do on a miss? On a miss. When you shoot an opponent on a miss, choose one and fate intervenes. Okay, so you're going to choose one from inflict +1 harm, suffer -1 harm, your enemy is pinned down in place, or you remain undetected.
So, if I'm attacking bugs,
hmm
how would I pin them to the ground?
I think pinning them in place means you've like got the swarm sort of engaged, and you're like repeatedly getting them out of the way.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. You're gonna take some harm though. I think. Let's see. What can I do to you? You're already fighting a lot of enemies. I think I'm gonna. You're standing there protecting Eloy, and you have a choice. You're going to take harm from this, or you're going to grab Alrune and shove him in the way, and he will take the harm instead.
Ooh. Oh, that would distract. That would distract Eloy too much. So I'll have to take the harm.
Gonna take the harm? Okay, you
Yeah.
take 5 harm.
Okay.
And that's 2 less for armor, so you take 3.
Okay.
What is that? What's your health at?
Got 1 left.
Woo! Okay.
Oh,
Xanady, what are you going to do to try and make way for Eloy?
I think I'm gonna try to attack all the bugs that are attacking Skia, since she's obviously kind of going down. So I'll use my arcane to attack that.
Okay.
And I get 2 successes.
And you have the ink staff, right?
I do.
That's still not a. I think that's a fail. Yeah. So, you get to choose one from the arcane list, which is inflict +1 harm, suffer -1 harm, hit several adjacent opponents, or hide your magical power.
I'm going to hit several adjacent opponents.
Okay, so you're like seriously pushing this back. You're gonna mark experience because I'm using one of my moves, and I'm going to invoke your tragic flaw.
Oh, no.
You're doing this. You're like channeling all of this massive energy. You got these like sparkles and stars going everywhere. But as you're doing it, this situation is just so improbable. You just talked to a god and made a deal with them, and now you're not just encountering a god, you're interacting directly with one of the like eldritch sources of all magical energy in the world. How could this possibly be real? So, you have an option. You can give in to your flaw and mark extra experience, or you can spend a willpower to withstand your flaw.
God, for the sake of the game, I want to expend a willpower, but I was already emotionally at the point where I was like, this is such bullshit. So I think she just like stops and she's like, okay, all right. I have been in control of this dream before, and I have clearly lost control of this dream because this is some bullshit. I'm just going to take a minute, take a deep breath, get back in control of it, and when I come back to this dream, it is going to do what I fucking want it to. And she stops, she puts her staff in both hands and bows her head and starts doing some deep breathing.
All right, Eloy.
Yes.
You've got like Skia teleporting all around you, attacking this swarm of bugs, and you can smell her blood on the air. And there is like all of this magic rushing around you, and all of a sudden it stops. But you're moving forward. Go ahead and roll. What was it? Charm you wanted to roll?
Yes.
Okay.
Do I get any pluses from their actions?
I'm going to give you a +2. This
So that means I have a plus. That means I have a +4, but I would like to take a +5 because I want to indulge my lust flaw and take 1 forward.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. All right, so you've got +5. This is a 3 because it's down from a 4 because of Hades. Which I believe means you auto-succeed?
Yeah, it means I auto succeed. +5 to all of those rolls.
So, please tell me, you're not just like the restless depths are enchanted by you, shall we say? But you too are taken by your flaw. You are taken by lust. What does Eloy do?
I think it's very similar to snake charming, where it's kind of like a simultaneous like rocking where we're both like in this like trance. And I see that like the depths have kind of started to sway with the way that Eloy is walking towards the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that she like as this like chaos around her kind of goes like still for a moment, she just reaches out through all of it and connects with the heart.
All right. So you reach out and put your palm on the heart, and there's a boom, 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 and it goes dark and gray, and the room suddenly fills with chill. The restless depths stop attacking you, but they just sort of like form this pool on the floor that's slowly swirling around Eloy. What do you do?
I don't think Eloy is making a move to like leave. I think she's ready to face whatever fate like holds for her. But I do think that she looks back at Elrond.
Yeah, I think he... looks at you as well, right? Like makes eye contact for perhaps the first time in the session. Milady, it's done. It's time that we go.
There's no going for me.
But this place is... It is less than death. It is nothing.
I made a promise.
Xanady.
Yeah.
You
I
look
open
up.
my eyes.
Yeah. You see this before you. What do you do?
I walk over to kind of as close to Eloy as I can get, and I say, "Come on, get up. Let's go." You didn't make a deal with the bugs. Get up. Let's go. Come on. Stop with the poetry and the histrionics. Let's go. This is boring. Let's move on. We don't even know if this worked. That was very anticlimactic, you guys. Like, come on. Like, we need to go do something else. And then she crosses her eyes and just, like, looks at Eloy. Maybe taps her little smoky foot on the ground a little bit.
I guess she does that. I mean, she's like, okay. If nothing is preventing her from leaving, then she'll back away from it slowly.
I think there's a humming in the air from the bugs, and the restless depths say to you, "We will always be with you, Eloy. Wherever you go."
I don't think I'll ever be too far.
So I turn to Skia and say, so you're the best, right? Like the best.
Yes, absolutely.
So we just killed the entire world. It seems
Yeah.
like it shouldn't be that hard to kill Hades on the way out, right? And then
You're absolutely right, especially since Eloy, everything that she touches will die. I assume that also includes Hades because she's very absolutist. She was speaking in absolutes, so unless she was lying, I mean,
Yeah.
that could be an easy job.
and as backup, you just be sneaky.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I could
Yeah,
do
we
that.
can- we can
I
write this.
am not doing well, so I wouldn't
Oh.
survive the encounter, which was not beneficial to me.
Oh. Oh. Can I give her my healing salve? Will that help? I don't remember what the healing
You
salve does.
can.
Yeah, it'll heal some of my bug bites.
So the let's see, healing
There-
salve heals 1 health star when used.
Okay, so I toss you this little container. I'm like, my dad gave me this when I was leaving. He said to put it on wounds so they didn't get, stupid.
So
I
Um,
look at
there-
my entire body. I'm like,
He's got like scratches fucking everywhere.
I'm like, okay.
I do there is a small problem.
What?
So say that my touch did kill Hades. Do you think that would go away or do you think it would stay?
Oh.
Well, it definitely won't go away if you don't kill Hades.
That's true.
So,
But if I kill Hades and it doesn't go away, then the point of killing Hades is moot.
I mean, that's a really good kill. You could, drink for free on that for a really long time.
It's true.
And also
Amazing
who
contracts.
who would maintain the soul of the dead?
I sort of feel like that's a
The
safe...
next in command?
Yeah, the stuff between person. Like, the
Yeah,
lieutenant steps up,
yeah.
whoever is the most worthy takes the job.
The guard at the gate.
Karaboros.
The only other person that we've seen here.
Yeah, that guy takes stuff super seriously. I think he'd probably
yeah.
be great.
Well,
We
he
do
doesn't
really
take it.
well.
He doesn't take it that serious. But
Well,
Oh dear.
I mean, he will once he gets his new promotion.
maybe.
Taking something else.
Okay. I guess you could.
I do have a plan if you want me to see if my touch really would kill Hades.
What's your plan?
Well, it's private.
Oh. But, okay.
Whoa, wait. I think that having Eloy go through life not being able to touch people would make her less fun. Yeah, for sure. For sure that
Yeah.
would make her less fun. So
Yeah.
that's not writing this dream at all. So we need to get this thing moving in the right direction. So the first thing that we need to do is make sure that that's not the case. So my suggestion, Eloy, is that you offer Hades a kiss
Okay.
and say that you want her to remove the blessing first so you can be sure that you don't hurt her.
All right.
And then,
Okay.
Skia, you're the best. You just sneak in and kill her and we'll back you up.
I'm still not doing very well. That was great for this square inch of my
That was
arm,
great for
but
topical. But I've got this bleeding
Yeah, we've
gash
got
on
some
my side.
hemorrhaging
Yeah,
going on
I'm
inside. We got to deal
bleeding
with.
extensively from my abdomen, so like I could do it, still would not survive.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like,
Are you
if
sure?
I were,
Are you sure? Like, I mean,
I look at the blood coming out, I'm like, yes.
I'm
This
sure.
is not normal.
Wait, this-
Like,
Somebody has an essence stone, don't they?
oh, I do have an essence stone. Yes. I forgot what that did, so I haven't mentioned it.
When used, a great being of your choice will grant you one usage of a move of its choice. Using the stone
Oh.
deepens your bond with that being.
Like, I got this rock. I'm gonna use it. Call upon the ink. See how that goes. So I do that.
Okay. So you're calling upon the ink. You hold out this stone, and it like disintegrates and reforms into this sort of black, watery sphere, and then it descends onto the arm where it had already turned black.
Yeah.
And it will. Ooh. It grants great mental faculties to you. You are suddenly much smarter. So we're gonna go ahead and
I mean,
bump your cunning to 6.
that?
Hello.
For a limited time.
Ha! Ah.
I see everything.
I see all. Yes, okay. Like, well, let's go kill Hades.
Okay, we
So
go back
you-
to Hades.
Take the hour and a half, because it's uphill this time, trek back up to
Oh,
Hades' throne, and
And no one can carry
Okay.
me. I have to carry myself.
Sanity is going to indulge her flaw along this whole way and basically just sing silly songs to herself to try and maintain this idea that she just needs to improve this dream. So she starts singing, "Maresy dotes, dozy dotes, little lambs, divey, kiddly divey too," to keep her mood up and just ignore everything. And I'm gonna try to indulge it all the way through to carry a +1 with my indulged.
Skia
Okay.
considers just sort of grabbing Eloy's hand and dying the entire way
To escape the songs.
Yes.
You know what? No, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna invoke Skia's flaw. And you may choose, as often happens, to take +1 forward if you indulge it. You do not see a path to failure here. You are going to succeed. You are going to kill Hades.
Yeah.
There's no other option, for
It's
sure.
absolutely true.
And when you do, you are going to become the new Queen of Death.
Obviously, I'm basically already there.
Okay. All right.
Like, I've done the supply part, now to get to demand.
It's time to move up to management.
Yeah, I think
okay.
so.
So Hades is there, reclining on her throne. Oh, I see. I figured you'd come in the other way. But here you are.
See, we're less boring than you thought.
I'd like to have stealthed in, so she doesn't necessarily know I'm there. She only sees Eloy and Xanity go in.
And my boy.
Go ahead
And-
and move.
Y'all always
stealthily.
forget about my boy.
I'm sorry. Okay, so that's with my new fancy cunning of 6.
Yes, and you're gonna take +1 from the hubris.
If you don't do this, I'm going to riot.
All right, Hedwig,
Oh my
this is
God.
just
I'm sorry, I just hit the mic.
Jesus Christ, that's so bad.
Thanks, Ink.
But listen, it was a 1, so she did it.
Well,
Uh-huh.
it was +1. Let me
And
go
the
to-
difficulty was 0, obviously. Succeeded.
Right,
Flying colors.
right. No.
Oh, no.
Let me double check the difficulty numbers to see if it'll work. Deciding difficulty.
I mean, I'm
numbers.
at my full like sexual beauty right now.
It's true.
You're
I feel like I'm being very
resplendent.
distracting.
I
Mhm.
feel like Eloy can give an assist by just being distracting.
Yeah.
All right. Eli, go ahead and roll.
Please.
Roll help.
Okay.
And if you can get a +1 out of that, that'll boost it to 4.
Yeah, please.
What do I have to roll for help?
Either alertness or cunning, and this is going to be
Cunning.
a 3.
A 3.
It's
Ah.
Hades.
Well, I can't do a 3, but I'll do my best here. No.
Oh,
I failed you,
Hmm.
my friend.
Did you not have a... Well, I mean, your +1 wouldn't really...
Yeah, I'm
Help
gonna
at
give you the +1.
so that's one success.
That's more than one success. That's no, I'm giving the +1 to Skia. So that brings Skia
Oh!
up to
Okay,
a 4.
4
However,
successes.
some bad shit's gonna happen. As a consequence. Oh, God.
I hate the feeling like he just has this table of bad ideas that he's just reading through. Like I see it in his face.
They all make me feel terrible.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna complicate Skia and Eloy's relationship. Skia, you see Eloy all resplendent, right? And you know that killing Hades means you're going to be the new Queen of the Dead. And you know that Eloy belongs to the Queen of the Dead. So by extension, when you kill Hades, Eloy becomes your property.
Yeah, it's true.
All
She's
right.
very pretty.
You are hidden from Hades. Hades does not see you. Your Shadewalker didn't make it.
Well, it was sort of a
No.
complicated thing.
No.
I'm gonna need a deceive from someone as Skia gets into place. So I think that's probably a deceive from Xanady with possible
Yeah.
assistance
Okay.
from Eloy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll use my anything, my charms.
Yeah.
I'll give you a +2, Eloy, and this is only difficulty 2.
Okay.
For the help check. It's difficulty 3 for the actual
Okay.
deceive.
So that's
And you
2
had-
successes.
Yeah. So that's a tie, which means which means what? God damn it.
What does that mean?
I should have it memorized by now because we've mostly gotten ties. Da 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 da. go here. It's in basic moves. Help or hinder. When you tie, they take +1 on the roll. Okay, so you're getting a +1 on your roll here.
Okay, and then do I also get a +1 because I'm trying to invoke my flaw of not believing in anything?
You get your +1 forward.
Yeah.
That's 2. That's a tie. Or actually, wait, no. It was difficulty 3.
3.
Fuck. Okay, so on deceive. This is messy. Dealing with gods is messy.
That's true.
Social moves.
So I-
Deceive. On a
I
miss,
choose
choose one, but fate intervenes.
So I will choose that the target falls for it.
Okay. Fate's gonna intervene. How is fate deciding to intervene? Fate is going to intervene by invoking... No, I'd have to invoke your flaw. Shit. This is hard, okay? Fate's going to intervene by way of harm, I think. You're putting all of your everything. You're not just deceiving. You're like calling on your ability to actually change reality, and that exertion is going to cost you 2 harm. Eloy, what do you do?
She steps forward towards Hades and she says, "We've completed our mission, which means that I suppose I'm here to serve my promise to you."
Yes. Well, your friends may leave.
My lady, am I allowed to touch you?
Of course. She like reaches out and brushes a hand against your cheek, and you feel the power sap from you. You feel like your arms grow weary, but also you feel the dark blessing lifted from you.
And I think Eloy leans in and like kisses her on the cheek.
And that's what I would like to backstab Hades.
Please roll your backstab.
Am I very cunning?
Let's see.
Do I have any
Backstab.
pluses?
You have a +1 from invoking your
Your
hubris.
flaw. Yeah.
I think we can say that you've got a +1 from Eloy. So it's a
Okay.
+2. And the difficulty here is whatever it is for gods, which I believe is a 3, but let me double check first. Difficulty numbers. Yeah, we'll make this a 3.
Okay. So would that be 6 successes?
That is, in fact, 6 successes. So I think we get this close-up shot of Eloy leaning in and giving Hades a kiss on the cheek. and then Hades just sort of drops out of frame, and there's a thud that we can hear in the audio. And then we look, and like Eloy, you're standing in the way of Hades' corpse, so we can't quite see, but we do see Skia on the back of the throne with a bloody axe raised. And there's a rushing and a rushing of wind and a moaning, and this sort of ethereal white-blue energy swirls up from Hades' form around Skia and forms a bone crown upon her head. And I think that is where we call it.
That was
So-
amazing. I'm
Thank you
Hades
all.
now.
Yeah, you're the queen of the underworld. Y'all
This
completely
is so
fucked
perfect.
the cosmology, like
This
so
is
that
so perfect,
multiple
though.
ways, multiple meanings of the word.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so that was, for those of you who missed the beginning, that was our one-shot Crimson Sun, playing Herons the First Age by Void Spiral Entertainment. If you would like to check this game out, it's fun. I liked it. It's powered by the Apocalypse game, so it has the whole moves are informed, like mechanics happen because you say it, you do a thing, structure to it. But it has some really interesting mechanics around the tragic flaw, and then, pulling back the curtain a bit for the GM side, like pretty much 100% of my hard moves that I could use, which are things that trigger when fate intervenes, so when you fail stuff, are like just make shit terrible. So it's very good for telling these sort of tragic stories about hard choices. And I mean, y'all actually made characters, so you can speak to it better than I can. But I think the character customization, building your character process, is really, really unique.
Yeah. That was fun.
Congratulations on none of you dying, by the way.
Woo!
We did our best.
Kind of.
Got really close. Unless I have different health as Hades, I have 2 health now.
Oh man.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I think we'll wrap it there. Let's go around and do outros. So say who you are, where people can find you on the internet, and yeah. So let's just go back around like we did before. Let's start it with Janaya.
My name is Janaya, and you can find me on the internet at Janaya pretty much everywhere. It's hard to spell, but it's right there. Janaya on Twitter for short art things, and Janaya on Instagram for visual art things.
And you will also see her in a later fun shot when we do Perdition. Gru.
Hi, I'm Gru. You can find me on Twitter at @GruMoon. And I remembered there is actually something I could plug. So I'm in a Curse of Strahd game, and my DM is writing up session recaps for Encounter Roleplay. So you can read about our adventures there as Mistborn Souls. I play Izzy, and yeah, it's starting to get really dark.
Nice. That's my, as a GM, that's my favorite part of a campaign.
When it starts to get
Oh
dark.
my
Yeah.
I mean, it started off kind of dark, and it's yeah,
Still
okay.
going.
And we're just at the beginning, so it's going to be fun.
Awesome. And it's Summer.
Ah, man.
Who are you? Where on the internet can people find you?
I'm Summer. You can find me on Twitter at JustJob. You can find me on Twitter at off_the table. That's like our official Twitter. And then we stream 4 days a week on off_the_table on Twitch. You can find me here back again for a lot of stuff in the future.
Yeah.
But closest up is this coming Saturday for Ryutama, which I'm so freaking pumped for. And then tomorrow I'm actually part of a charity stream on Metamancers. You can find her on Twitter. It's going to be kind of early in the morning. I think it's 10:30 Eastern, Central, something like that. I'll tweet about it. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see that. Yeah, that's all for me.
I'll be asleep, but have
awesome.
fun.
I'll be wishing I was asleep and having fun.
Good. Hi, I'm Dylan. This is my channel. You can find me at AnarSS here on Twitch, of course, on YouTube, or on Twitch if you're watching this on YouTube. On YouTube if you're watching this on Twitch right now, live. It's been over 4 hours. I'm real tired, okay? And also on Twitter, at AnarSS. I am a graphic designer, game master, and fantasy cartographer, probably some other hat that I'm forgetting. You can commission me via my website at dylangrinder.com. You can find out more information about my other shows at twitch.dylangrinder.com. My Patreon, where you can help support the creation of fantasy maps and RPG token portrait borders, is patreon.com/AnarSS. And I've got some other links down below that you can check out. As far as shows, I run this Fun Shots every Saturday, except we're skipping a week in a couple weeks, but we'll let you know when that's happening. So you'll see me here next Saturday at 5 p.m. Pacific, playing Ryokoseo, aka Travel, which is a Ryutama game with Summer and Little Cup of Joe, who you can see in chat, and Joliolio, who was in chat earlier, maybe is still around. That is adorable. The first episode of that is in the VODs and will hopefully, fingers crossed, be going up on YouTube soon. But it's going to require some serious editing from me, so please bear with me on that. You can also find me here on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, where I will be streaming The League Tomb of Annihilation, which is my Adventurers League Tomb of Annihilation show with Sir Lucian from Sir Lucian Gaming, Nomadic from Hexes and Bows, and PB Plays Inside from PB Plays Inside. And it's Adventurers League, so it seems it should be super crunchy, and it technically is, but we've had a lot of sort of narrative development and engagement. It's been a lot less numbers focused than I was expecting when I started the campaign itself. So if you're into hecka tragic jungle adventures, that's a good one for you to drop in on. Oh, and actually, more recently or sooner than that, on Monday, you can see me on Nox's channel at twitch.tv/FableTales for her Dungeon World campaign that I am playing in. I'm playing a fighter who is not a nice guy, and he's kind of fucked up, and he's very different from my usual character, so I'm excited to play him. And some other people from around the interwebs. Joel from Ryutama is on that one as well. So that is at 5:30 Pacific over on Fable Tales. And I think that's everything. Good God, I hope that's everything. If I missed something, everybody's links are everywhere. Go look at them. But we're gonna sign off. I'm gonna go eat. We're gonna try not to die in the underworld. But most importantly, thank you for watching, and have a wonderful remainder to your evening. Good night.